Hello and welcome to episode 117 of Celtic Rumours TV, the Bawz and Bovril podcast with your host Mark and myself Paul. You can check out all the links to the podcast in our description below, including our forum page to the podcast, www.celticrumours.co.uk. We all Celtic fans discuss all things Celtic. On tonight's show, we have match reaction on yesterday's 4-0 victory over Aberdeen at Celtic Park. Should the Celtic board increase the standing section for the Green Brigade? And we look ahead to Sunday the 26th Scottish League Cup final against the Rangers. And of course, if you guys have anything you wish to discuss in the show, please let us know in the live chat, or if you have to join us, let Mark know and he'll put a link to you all so you can join in with the show. Firstly, though, I'll hand off to Mark for a few shout-outs.
Thanks very much, Paul. Some quick shout-outs to the guys off the forum. Tim Alloy, I think Tim Alloy will be in hospital by this time. He's due a couple of operations, isn't he? So if he's listening back to this, hope get well soon, Tim. Rich and his family. Terence, he's not been keeping too well either, so if you're listening back to this, get well soon, Terence. I don't think he'll be on the night anyway, Paul. A Glasgow Green, Welshie, Mikey, Big Jabber, all the lads, just a wee shout-out to them. The people that listen back as well. Thanks very much to everybody that listens back on Spotify and all the podcasting platforms and that. It's really appreciated. Who's in the chat there? Bobby, nice to see you, Bobby. Brian as well. Good evening, Brian. Northampton Tim, nice to see you in again, mate. Thanks for joining us, bud.
So Celtic remain 9 points clear at the top of the table, beating Aberdeen 4-0 at Celtic Park. Celtic taking care of our own business, so it doesn't matter what's going on the other side of the town. Goals from McGregor on 2 minutes. Hayashi got a double, 13 to the 76th minute, and Abada on the 89th minute. The stats for the game was possession 78 to their 22, shots 20 to their 5, no shots on target for Aberdeen to our 10, corners 8 to their none, 13 fouls, possession passes we had 832 to their 230. Accuracy was 89% to Celtic to their 63. It's Sunday the 19th, and the SPL title looks like this at the moment. Celtic played 26, won 24, drew 1, lost 1, 0.73. Goals for 82, goals against 18 were a plus 64. Goal difference. I saw something today as well, Mark, that at this time, like around 26 games, Celtic have scored more goals this season than we have after 26 games in the previous 6 seasons.
It just shows you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Just looking back again, but Paul, what we spoke about the other week, look at the fouls again yesterday.
Yeah, possession-wise,
compared to the possession, you know what I mean? We gave away, conceded more than double the same of the fouls that Aberdeen did. It's just a nonsense, isn't it? Really,
it's just niggling fouls, Mark, that's been given away against us. Do you know what I mean? Like, any player that goes to ground that's playing against Celtic's going to get a foul.
Aye, and it just breaks up our rhythm, stops us from getting into our rhythm and keeping up the high intensity and stuff like that.
Like 22%, no shots in goal, no shots on target, no corners, no fouls. But we still have the most fouls then in the game. It's just ridiculous. But it's impressive, Mark, where we're sitting on top of the table. Like our goal difference is plus 64 at this stage. Like, you know, I mean, there seems to be goals all around this team at the moment. Cal McGregor knows getting on the goals as well.
Aye, we're starting to get back to our best, aren't we? We're starting to score. For a few months, a few weeks at least there, it was kind of, we were struggling to get the ball in the net into. We seemed to be, I mean, again yesterday, Paul, it could have been 6-0 at half time yesterday, really, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you think, though, we were saying it's hard to predict what lineup would go, but taking out and putting Kyogo in, Mark, that seems to be Ange's starting 11.
I don't know. Abada always gives us a good game against him, but Paul as well. If you're talking,
but is Abada more influential, Mark, or off the bench than he is starting. Because when Abada starts, he's kind of in and out of the game. Is Barda
I don't
more
know. I'm
beneficial than coming off the bench?
I don't know, but just even like with one eye on next week's game, Paul, it's just Abada kind of terrorises that Barisic any time he's up against him, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely, no, for yesterday, as you say, without swap over for Kyogo, and I think that would probably be our best starting 11. Aye.
How did you find then? Oh yes, the Maxine's we're talking about it.
Oh, he done it. Well, he done a lot of work, didn't he? Didn't he really? I can't remember him having any kind of clear-cut chances. Can you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, he
So,
seems to be kind of in more involved with the play than kind of.
aye.
But then
He's not just your kind of target man striker.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking, well, because he's replaced Giacomakis, we maybe thought he was going to be that kind. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So is that not?
Moy's a must on Sunday. I don't think Moy will start on Sunday. I personally don't. I think it'll be O'Reilly's coming back onto a game. I think it'll be the same three as yesterday: McGregor, Hatate, and O'Reilly. I think that'll be the starting midfield.
Mm-hmm. One player though, Mark, that seems to be just getting better and better every time we see.
Oh, evening by your way, Rebel 86. Thanks very much for coming in there. Cheers for joining us, mate.
I think at the moment, Mark, this fella's the best player in Scotland at the moment. With his possession, his passing, he's getting involved in tackles now. Is Rio Hatate?
Aye, definitely. I'd say right now he's the best player in Scotland by a country mile.
Mm-hmm. You know those goals yesterday, Mark. I know the penalty, but his goal was just. He's just getting better and better, Mark.
Aye. Again,
but Paul, you said, is he going to be there next season, Mark?
I don't think he'll be there. I honestly don't. I put on the forum earlier, Paul. Me and Mikey were talking about it the other day on the phone, on the Skype call thing, and we were talking about it, and I went away and asked a couple of people about it, and according to Ed 2, there was a bid of about €15 million went in for Hatate in January.
And I think that was Southampton, wasn't it? Southampton, I don't know. I think it was, yeah.
He never said who it was, and another couple of people said as well that there's big interest in Hatate. I'll be really, really surprised if he's here next year. And I think as well, Paul, I think that's how Awata gets signed to. There's no way we're saying the kind of J-League's MVP or Player of the Year, whatever you want to call it, to be Callum McGregor's understudy. When it's Awata's natural position, and as we keep saying, getting to that Champions League with Callum McGregor is that CDM, and we're going to get pumped again.
And especially too, Mark, that we're actually seeing, because I made a thing to yesterday when Hatate and O'Reilly went off, who went into Hitate's position? Because there was confusion there, because Forrest came on for Hatate, and Forrest didn't go into his position. So it was actually Haksabanovic that went in. So it was Haksabanovic and Cal McGregor in that more forward role yesterday.
Aye.
And Forrest then was kind of out.
Forrest was out on the left, wasn't it? Abada was out on the right. Aye.
Out on the right, and it was Haksabanovic that went in there.
I think it's going to be, if Hatate does leave in the summer, I think next season is going to be Awata as your CDM. McGregor is going to move further up, one up the pitch, and it'll be him and O'Reilly or whoever else is in there. But I definitely think that's the plan going forward.
Mm-hmm. Because I actually think.
Evening, you, Deef. Thanks for coming in again, mate. Nice to see you.
Haksabanovic, Mark, is more better in a more central role as well, because he brings that bit of physique in there as well that we lack. You know what I mean?
I think he could be. I like the guy. I definitely like Haksabanovic. I'd like to see him getting a bit more game time. But for me, I totally agree with that, Paul. I think he could maybe even fill the type. The type of role Hatate does. The same type of player. I mean, Hatate for me, it reminds me so much of when we used to watch Petrov playing, Paul. He's that type of player. He's your box to box kind of player. Do you know what I mean? He's, as you said earlier, he's back tackling now. He's creating his pass. His passing is sublime. It really is. His passes, it really is. I mean, and you've got to mind as well, by the way, Paul. And this was another thing me and Mikey were talking about when we were talking about him. We signed him and he was a right back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
He
know
was
whether
playing.
it's like always been his kind of plan to move into being a midfielder or that. But I mean, when we signed it, he was playing right back for his Japanese team, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was playing there. Yeah, like
And he's done it
out
a
in the
couple, played it a couple of times for us too, hasn't he?
and out in kind of left wing kind of role, Mark, as well. He was kind of playing there. I seen. I, I, I was going to tweet back in it, but I was going to fucking. I would have lost my shit on Twitter if I would have tweeted back to it, right? There was a fella on Twitter, and it's these people, Mark, who kind of caused a bit of controversy over Hatate, all right? And they put, all right, I know these fellas doing this on purpose just to get likes or things, but they said like they hadn't seen nothing in Nawata that suits Ange's style. All he
Aye,
does is play it safe, pass the ball forward, and I'm looking going, that's the role we signed him for. That's the position that we want him to be in.
aye,
The fellow who picks up the ball, moves the ball forward, and doesn't dwell on the ball.
aye.
That's what we signed him to
I
do.
think Awati's the player that Ange thought Gucci was going to be, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? But I mean, I saw that guy on Twitter going on about that as well. I seen as well somebody, one of the stat guys. I can't even mind who it was, but he'd been on about how Hatate wasn't he? He'd hit a ceiling and wasn't he doing too good and all that kind of stuff, just with all these kind of stats that he was looking at. And a lot of garbage.
I question mark are these fellas actually Celtic supporters now. I really do. Like, are
Hang
they
about,
just
I
looking
mean,
to get likes or
well, a lot of well, they're getting
or
like
clicks, like, or something like
aye,
that?
but they're
Isn't it?
getting clicks, but they're getting turns out that they're appearing on podcasts and they're getting writing on websites and stuff about that, about all these stats stuff and that. And, I mean, you're into it and that, Paul, but it's a bit of OTT at times, isn't it?
Ah, yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
I mean, you can twist stats to suit anything you want to.
Exactly.
You want to suit.
Like,
Do you know
that's
what I
I'm
mean?
saying.
That's
This
what
fellow,
they're
like,
doing.
this fellow was saying he kind of
He-
doesn't move
even-
forward. He stays in the centre box and looking going. That's the
Evening,
position
just
that
a
we.
wee shout. Evening,
Yeah,
Patrick. Thanks very much for coming in, mate. Nice to see
you know,
you. I think that's
he
a new
doesn't
name.
move forward.
Where are you clicking?
What's that? Oh, sorry, that's my biro. Sorry. But I was like, they were saying like, all he does is stay in the centre box and he's not running. He's not thinking, and he's not supposed to. Do you know what I mean? This is what we want him to do. And I put it up on the live chat yesterday. Mark Owasso was doing what Ange signed him to do, looking for the ball from the centre backs
Aye.
and constantly looking to be on the ball to look for that next pass that needs to be moved forward.
Aye.
It's something that we lacked.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
we didn't lack it, we had it, but
go
a
back
player
to
who
even
knows
players
that role.
like Paul Lambert. I mean, Paul Lambert's a perfect example. I mean, if you look at the kind of players that win all the plaudits and all the glory, Paul Lambert wasn't in that kind of group. But Paul Lambert at his job was one of the best in Europe for a good few years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as you said, that's their job. That's what they're meant to do. Break up play. Like even going back to guys like Roy Keane.
Exactly.
No, I mean it's a limitation, but that's their job. It's what a CDM should be doing. I mean, you can even look at the difference he beat on when we played him at centre back to we played him at CDM that last season of his ways. He was absolute quality that last season we was beat on, playing in his natural position.
Yeah.
Maybe Celtic Forever, and even in Celtic Forever, nice to see you. If you're not subscribed to Celtic Forever, go and subscribe to his channel. If Bobby or that's about and can put the link in for us. Cracking channel for Celtic videos and that. So go and give the wee guy a wee guy. I don't know if he's a wee guy or no. Go and give the guy a foley. Thanks very much.
Going back to the game yesterday, Mark, I was talking about individuals there, but we just looked comfortable, I thought. Didn't think.
Was that early goal?
Yeah. You see, that's Mark. That's what I think Celtic need to do. You know, in our games, like if we score early, we make the space because the teams will come out. You know,
Aye.
and there's none of this kind of nervousness now that runs through the team or kind of waiting till the 80th minute to get that first goal that we've seen previous to the Ange. Like, but like with McGregor moving forward, you can see what McGregor brings to the team, Mark, when he does actually go forward. Like he has one of the best shots in the squad.
Oh, I don't know. I used to, when he was younger and that, the goals and that, he was cracking for doing that. But over the years, it's kind of went out his game, I thought, Paul. I mean, McGregor should have scored a lot more goals for Celtic, but again, it was back to, he was playing back in like that, back to CDM role beside Brun. But some of his shooting over the years has been a bit wild, to be honest.
But do you think so, right? We've been discussing that we'd like to see Callum McGregor move forward and put a Rata there, right? Like, going by what you're saying there, Denmark, will McGregor be able to adjust to that? Because I actually feel now McGregor's mindset is more defensive than actually attacking, you know, and will he be able to adjust or switch?
Aye.
Because, you know, because I've seen it a few times back when we actually did have him in the forward role, McGregor actually started slipping back again into the more central role.
Aye,
When Bawz was there last year.
He'll need to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as I keep saying, Paul, we need a proper CDM in there in the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, Ange isn't going to switch formations or switch anything like that. So it's going to be, he'll need to adjust to do that. But he's a good enough player, Paul. But McGregor could play anywhere in the midfield.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, without doubt, like he's really kind of upped his game as well, Mark, since he took the captain's role, didn't he?
Aye.
You know, he's kind of leading by example, like something that people were saying they didn't see in Callum Mack. Do you know what I mean? But he really has, like, hasn't
he? Well, it's different. You get different types of captains, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get guys that are all kind of bawling and shouting and screaming and stuff like that, and then you get guys like McGregor that just kind of leads, as you said, leads by example. Just follow me how I do every work, how hard I work, and follow that kind of line rather than be the kind of big tough nut kind of thing. But I mean, he's earned his right to be captain, and he'll be well respected and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? The players will all respect him for it.
Mm-hmm. Patrick is saying, "What's your thoughts on?" Like, we kind of just spoke about it after there, Mark, didn't we? You know, that's.
Aye. Dev, I think that next season, Patrick, I've said that maybe but hadn't joined us behind. I think our midfield three is going to be Awata, McGregor, and O'Reilly or Haksabanovic or do you know what I mean? Somebody else, but that'll be the two starters. But I think McGregor's going to get moved up a position into a more forward role.
Mm-hmm. You know, because we kind of more recently we saw him kind of replacing McGregor, but now we're seeing other players come off, Mark, and it's McGregor that stayed on. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just he's kind of breathing into the team, really, Mark. And if the league is kind of wrapped up early, I think we might kind of get a feel of kind of what to expect next season from Awata. I think he'll get more game time when the league is kind of wrapped up, you know, kind of down.
Stop clicking that pen.
Down near the end of the season. You know, I think we'll see more of Awata. You know.
Hold on, what's Celtic Forever talking about there? Check out UD's Minecraft Stadium Bawz. But does UD get a channel?
Never knew that, UD. You might let us know that, but we'll.
Let us know what that's about.
Mm-hmm. You know, Jota seems to be kind of back in form as well, Mark, don't he? You know, he was lucky not to score as well, I think, but I still. Is he actually more effective though on the left, Mark, and where Marid is actually playing? Do we get the full effect of Jota on that side?
I prefer Jota on the left.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely do, Paul. But Marid, the chop and change during the game, didn't
they? Did, yeah, I saw that yesterday, yeah.
It really no matter who it is that's playing in the wings, they do chop and change. But for me, I prefer Jota on the left and Marid on the right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just, I don't know, but it just seems to be a better kind of balance to it. I definitely prefer Jota on the left-hand side, but...
And you spoke about him there, Mark, just a few seconds ago, O'Reilly. He seems to get there was no one ever questioned his talent, Mark, but he seems to have got his mojo back after getting that goal yesterday. I thought O'Reilly played again well yesterday, didn't he?
Aye, starting to get back onto his game. We said last week, Paul, it was if the weight of the world just fell off his shoulders last week when he got that goal, wasn't it? And he carried on yesterday. I thought he had a great game yesterday after really some of his performances left a lot to be desired in recent games and that, but I was really impressed with him yesterday again. Good to see him getting back.
Were you disappointed with Aberdeen though, Mark? That they didn't really offer much to Celtic, like, you know what I mean? I know they kind
Didn't
of
really get a chance
tried
to
to
it, Paul.
attack, but they didn't really get a chance either. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No,
Or was it just Celtic were too good for them?
Aye, I think it was. We didn't get, we weren't amazing, and there was that kind of lull in the middle of the game again where it was getting just getting a wee bit monotonous and boring kind of thing. But we controlled it. As soon as that first goal went in, Paul, we controlled the game for the very first whistle. We got that goal, and that was it. And I think with Aberdeen were back pocket just for the full 90 minutes. I don't think as soon as that first goal went in, we just dominated the possession, the play, the game. There was never any question of Aberdeen for me getting close to us after that first goal went in. It was going to be a case of how many for Celtic.
Do you know when you're speaking about and it happened again yesterday? You can always, as you said, Mark, you can always kind of see what way the game is going when the live chat goes just off the football. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But do you think then, like with Ange, he should bring on kind of subs a bit earlier to that to bring the tempo back up?
I don't know if it's a bit as they call it game management. And I mean, see, like last week, had that brought Owen earlier, gave him a right good run out against St Mirren. But again, was he fit enough to do it? I don't know. Stuff like that comes into it. But I mean, you can set your timer, you can set your watch behind your substitutions, unless it's an injury, of course. But
65th minute always, like, isn't it?
60, 65 minutes, that's when it always happens. He could maybe look at doing things a wee bit different, maybe freshen things up a wee bit earlier if it starts to go that kind of way. But if your team's cruising as well, do you know what I mean? And we were cruising yesterday. So even just let them maybe cruise as Angie's kind of thing for stuff like that. But it doesn't keep up with his kind of we never stop mantra. We are kind of, we're not stopping, but we're just kind of getting back down a gear into it. We're not playing to our full potential.
Brian is saying Joe Hart still scares.
That yesterday was crazy.
But what was he doing? He was out in no man's land.
But he's always out there. That's the thing about it. How many he's out in? But said it, Paul, if he came in one game, he's going to cost us, and it's going to be like a chip for miles out. It's going to cost us. A couple of teams in Europe tried it. Do you know what I mean? We got away with it, but I don't know why he needs to be out as far as that, trying to get involved in the game as such.
Yeah,
as much.
Yeah, one thing too, Mark, I noticed about Joe Hart when he comes out from his box. It reminds me of a statue. He's just all straight. Or even, do you remember yesterday he went to head that ball, and he headed the ball out there in the game. There he came out and he headed the ball. His body just was like a straight line or something.
Aye.
Like my body language, his body language actually tells me he's not comfortable outside that box.
No, he's not comfortable. He's not comfortable with the ball at his feet, Paul.
No, definitely not, Mark. Definitely not.
I mean, again, how many times have we spoken about it? He's a good goalkeeper. There's no doubt about it. He was probably a great goalkeeper in his day, and he's done us a right good turn over the last couple of seasons. But they're rebels saying we need an upgrade for Europe. Do you know what I think? I think there's other areas we need an upgrade in Europe before the goalkeeper. It's a bit more urgent, but long term.
I think we give Hart another year.
Well, Celtic's meant to be like scouting for a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm thinking, are we kind of looking at, Mark, bringing in like what you're saying there, like we're kind of scouting a keeper? Would we bring in that keeper and kind of blend him into the team under Joe Hart for a year.
Well, hopefully.
You know, because I think that's the best way to do it. Do you mean? Because we look what happened last year, and Barkas was thrown in. There's seriously no confidence in Scott Bain. And the big question is Seagrass up for it, Mark? I don't know.
But Seagrass, Celtic forever saying it as well, don't think Seagrass had a chance yet. Seagrass is even worse with the ball going to his feet than Joe Hart is. He's an absolute bomb scare when the ball goes to his feet, Seagrass.
He is, Mark, and we were taught that by Jonas.
Aye.
You know, that he actually is a bomb scare. Jonas was saying there actually today on his Twitter that Dundee United could actually port Celtic for an emergency loan deal for Scott Bain.
I saw him saying that. Have they done injury?
Yeah, 2 keepers are injured, and they only left with third choice young fella called Edwards.
Right.
But
that, again, is Seagrass fit?
That's it. I don't think so, Mark. So I don't think that could happen. But if I'm looking at Dundee United there, Mark, right? Like Conor Hazard had a good run there with is it Helsinki he was with over in Sweden, and he did good. I think Celtic would let him go. Like his contract is up to this season, Mark. I think we could do a mutual thing there and let Conor Hazard go to Dundee United. You know.
Aye, probably.
Because he's actually still he's back at Celtic now, Mark. He's for me, if I was Conor Hazard, I would be onto my agent, Mark. I'd be looking at it like because he's in no man's land at Celtic at the moment, isn't he?
Aye.
You know.
I don't think he's got much future at Celtic, has he?
No, Mark, he doesn't. And look, he saved us that fucking penalty there in the final, I think, Mark. But even at that, Mark, what I saw of him during that game, he didn't look comfortable either up in the air, grabbing that ball or thing like that. I mean, that's the one thing I like about Seagrass, Mark. Seagrass is comfortable in the air. He's a good shot stopper.
Joe Hart, I've said that as well. I don't think Joe Hart commands the area as well as he could.
I
don't know whether it's fear of injury, maybe he's just at an age that he's not want to even risk taking the kind of bumps in the box, but a keeper should be coming out for a lot more crosses than that than Joe Hart actually does.
Especially now, Mark, because the goalkeeper will get a free kick 9 times out of 10 in the box.
If a keeper goes out to try and punch the ball, try and catch the ball, and whether he catches it or no, if he lets out a big screaming crumples down to the ground, he's going to get a free kick for it. Do you know what I mean? And Mikey there, evening Mikey. Mikey's in a FIFA tournament.
All right. Would you be comfortable though, Mark, with Seagrass as our number one?
No.
I really wouldn't like, and I think Celtic now at the moment need to really, Mark, do a good scouting report on the keeper this year. What happened 2 years ago with Barkas?
There's people like Celtic Forever and UD saying about Barkas, and that Barkas is the top goalkeeper in the Dutch league this season. And the team that he's at, I can't even mind their name here, off the top of my head. They can't afford them.
No, can't afford him, Mark. So he's coming back to Celtic. But for me, Mark, he's burned his bridges.
No, he'll not be back.
He spoke about the club.
Aye, he'll not be back at Celtic.
There's some players you can talk about, but that attitude back when he was warming up in the goals that time, letting the goals just pass him, and the way he spoke about Celtic afterward. And
Utrecht, that's Utrecht. He's at.
I would give him the time of day, Mark, when he comes back.
No, he'll not come back, Paul. He'll not come back. He'll be sold during the summer.
But Mark, is this not the first time they did this to us? Utrecht. They do this as well to Celtic. They took a player loan, and then they say then they can't afford him, and they were asking Celtic to drop their price. Or was that another team? That was Jack Hendry's team, weren't they? They did exact same.
That was a Belgian team. Aye.
You know, a lot of teams actually kind of do that, don't they? We can't afford them, and then they get.
Maybe not with the transfer fee, maybe with the wages that he's on that they can't afford.
Because we were looking at that time, Mark, he was on nearly 28, 26, 20. 27, wasn't he?
What
He's
did we
one of
pay for? What did we pay for
5 million.
Barkas? 4.5, 5 million. I bet you we get about £3.5 million back for him.
I would think so, Mark. Yeah. You know,
If we don't get our full whack back, because I mean, he was a good goalkeeper before he came to Celtic. He's been out to Holland and proved that he's a good goalkeeper again. Just sometimes transfers don't work out.
yeah, to look what the lads are saying there. Actually, yeah, Ballingall will be back. Yes, he will be back. They'll be sold anyway.
Aye, they'll be just told to find clubs kind of thing. Probably, I'd just free a Jetty. I don't even know if he scored any goals for that team. Is it?
I haven't kind of.
It's just went right off the radar with Celtic fans.
Because normally, Mark, normally you would kind of hear of stuff.
Aye.
Being scoring goals between the Celtic fans and stuff like that on Twitter. Like, but I'm the same as you. I haven't kind of seen anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, then Mikey saying he scored 2 goals.
That all? 2 goals a game, or just 2 goals?
Just 2 goals. Just 2 goals.
Do you know what I mean? No, I definitely wouldn't.
It's just Deadwood. I mean, I'm on Barkas. I'm not classing Barkas as Deadwood, as I say. I think we'll get at least the majority of our money back for him.
You have to, Mark, yeah, because it was an expensive signing for Celtic. Like, you know what I mean? 4.55 million, Mark, was an expensive signing for Celtic. Like, you know, you'd want to think we get something decent back from that anyway, wouldn't you? 2 goals in 14 is not great, Mark, is it?
No, it is not.
You know, and like Celtic, obviously, Mark, are keeping track of these players on loan, like, you know, because they do that, like they track the players on loan.
Aye.
But talking about, as we're talking about,
we'll get it out your system when you
get
go.
Out,
tell us about
players on loan. My God, Toby, boy, what are you doing to me, boy? What are you doing to me? After me building you up by saying I'm fucking delighted he's at Cork City, can't wait to see him, boy, can't wait to fucking thing. Mark, there's a blunder and there's a blunder. My God, man. Ball was coming straight to him.
I tried to look it up and couldn't find it, Paul. A video.
Go on to Cork City Twitter page, Mark. You'll find it on that. You know? Now, ball was coming straight to him. And I don't know, did the ball swerve or did it think, but it seemed Toby dived away from the ball. And the ball just went straight through where Toby was standing. And where I was sitting, Mark, I had the perfect angle to see Toby's positioning, and that ball was going straight to him. There was Cork City fans inside the stadium. Where the fuck did we get this keeper from? And I'm looking, going, I turned to one fella, I said, lads, relax, like, he's only fucking 19. You know what I mean? But then, Mark, do you know what I think it was, Mark? There was a lot of nervousness around this Cork City football team because it was their first time back in the Premier League in 3 seasons. It was a full house. There was a lot of pressure on them, you know, and they played better in the second half. But then the second half, then Toby was doing what I said Toby was doing. His passing was fucking brilliant. He was, what we're saying there about Joe Hartmark coming outside his box. Toby did that with no problem whatsoever. Coming out ahead in the ball, his distribution catching the ball in the air was fucking. He pulled off magnificent save. But you know, Mark, if you make a blunder as a keeper,
that's what everybody remembers, isn't it?
Remember, and that's what people were saying after the game. If it wasn't for that blunder, we would have got a draw. But Mark, it was a bad goal. But then, you know what I mean? It was his first. I would really say, Mark, like, I know he's played in the Lowland leagues now and stuff like that, but this, for me, was really Toby's first really competitive game.
It's his first taste. I know what you're saying.
Get me? You know, in front of a big crowd, Mark, there was 6,800 people there, like, do you know what I mean?
The pressure of him knowing that you were there watching him.
Exactly, with my earphones and my podcast fucking mic. But Mark, it was, man. I'm looking going, how the fuck am I going to explain this in the podcast after me building you up to
it was like it was a Real Madrid game in the Champions League. And he was a pure howler. The full game in that, he was absolutely ganting, man. That's who I was. I don't know. I still say, Paul, he's got to take some wild streak of luck for him to ever be Celtic's #1 goalkeeper.
Well, you know what? I'm going to.
At 19 is the keeper. But see, really, Paul, at 19, you're getting back to how long would he need to be there to become Celtic's #1? Because see if he's Celtic, support right. See when the Celtic brought in a 19-year-old keeper.
Exactly.
Right away, it's off. What we buying a 19-year-old keeper for? He's not going to be any good. He's in his mid-20s, late 20s. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And it's what I keep saying as well. When Hearts' time is up, do we go down the route of buying a youngish keeper, a guy maybe 25, 26, just coming into Kindy's prime?
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Or do we just keep going for like the next big kind of name, good keeper that's just going to be winding down his career a bit like Joe Hartstein?
What kind of hearing from Ange and from Stevie Woods, Mark, is that they have a plan for him. Do you know what I mean? That they have high hopes for him, like, you know what I mean? Because he is a good keeper. They have high hopes for him. Am I going to be comfortable with Toby? Realistically, Mark, Toby needs to be pushing for that chance if he's 21. And if he's good enough, he'll get it. If he's not, then you're going to question and go, we need to begin a keeper. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. Maybe that's kind of the plan. Put him out on loan, get him some games under the belt.
I said that, Jim, Mark. I said that.
Because it goes back to hang as well, Paul. I mean, I say it all the time. Not just Celtic fans, any fans really, but Celtic fans are, because I'm kind of mixed with them, they're particularly bad for it, in my opinion. Young players, they don't give them a chance. Right?
Well, I thought that.
If you put a young player on, right, and say a young striker, say we put Rocco Vata on against, say, St. Mirren or something like that, and missed an absolute sitter, right? People would gurn and moan about it, and they'd be folk on Twitter, he's never going to be good enough for Celtic, blah, blah, blah. But next week it would be forgot about. But if you're a young midfielder and you make a few bad passes, you'll take a bit of stick, it gets forgot about. But if you're a young goalkeeper, you make a mistake, it's costing you a goal. That takes a lot for that to. But he's still a young player, and young players will make mistakes. Yeah,
well, that's what I was saying. Like to my cousin yesterday at the match, like I was saying, like people have to forget, like this is a young lad that's trying to start his career. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to write the lad off, Mark, because I fucking watched him since he was 16, since he came to Celtic.
Just because he made a couple of
exactly.
As I said, his mistakes cost goals. Other young players' mistakes don't cost goals like that.
You know what I mean? Like, for me, this anyway, Mark, for me was just, it was the first game for this whole group together. I mean, get this game out of their system and spend more time in the training ground with the lads. Like, Mark, he's only been in the door 3-4 weeks. Do you know what I mean? He's only in the door. Do you know what I mean? He's still getting used to.
Where's he staying?
They haven't taught me that. For obvious reasons.
You could have gave him digs.
I would, you imagine. He wake up, there's me standing in a podcast at 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get going into training down wrecked them. I didn't get no sleep last night. That landlord again, but I was just standing in my room in the dark with night goggles on him.
Night vision goggles on.
You know, but I was always, anyway, Mark, questioning the Seagrass signing anyway, as long as Bain was there, like going. That should have been Toby's position. Do you get me? Toby should have been third choice and let him progress his team. Then, do you know what I mean? You know, but
it's a bit weird, isn't it, that we've got the three goalkeepers that are all the rank side of 30, basically on. Do you know what I mean? Bain will be away in the summer now. 100% he'll be away. I don't even know what's the contract situation, Baines.
You know, didn't he just sign a new one when Ange came in, Mark? Didn't he? Was that a 3-year one? Was it?
I was thinking it was only a 2-year one, Paul. I was thinking it was maybe out again up this year. But I think Bain himself knows as well. We've said that enough for a year. Do you know what I mean? But what you're saying there, but Jonas was saying about maybe getting an emergency loan, that would be a great move for Bain if Seagrass was fit for us.
That's it, but I think that's the only thing, Mark, that would stop that, the Seagrass injury, like, because we were told first that it was kind of an elbow or shoulder injury, Mark. Then I heard it was kind of a calf injury, but would a calf injury keep you out that long?
It depends how bad it is, I
Bad it
suppose.
was, yeah, like a bad tear, like you know what I mean. So, like he's been, oh Jesus, Mark, he hasn't been on the squad since December, November. I say, has he?
He's
When
not.
tr-
After the World Cup, Paul. When
yeah,
that, but then, aye.
so he's been out for nearly 3 months, Mark. Like you know what I mean. So, like it just shows, Mark, and I've said it numerous of times about Bain. It's
But
clear that Ange has no confidence in him, Mark, if he's not starting him in League or Scottish Cup games.
no, but they're Rebel Senior Bain's a wage, Steve. I wouldn't go as far to like say that, but I know what you're meaning. But let's face it, we need them now because if anything happens to Hart, do you know what I mean, Paul? If Hart gets injured, we've no Seagrass, who would we turn to?
I still can't believe Celtic blocked a
aye.
move. I think, Mark, it was always on the cards for Welch to go out on loan or kind of be sold, but then Jens himself decided he wanted to go, and that's why all Welch's moves then were kind of put to a side, weren't it?
Aye, but it's still no right. But Mikey's saying he's bang on. We were talking about that the other day. I mean, Welsh wanted to move. And again, he's not going to get any game time for Celtic.
No, Kobayashi, no, Mark is ahead of him, indeed. And I would actually think, Mark, looking at it now, with Ange, I think Bosman Laws is ahead of Welch.
Well, maybe no right this minute, but I think your long-term plans, Paul,
probably
season,
for
next
season,
season, aye.
Because that's what I can actually see, Mark, is if we hold on to Vickers, if we have Vickers, we have Starfelt, there's Bosman Law, there's Kobayashi. I actually saw there as well from a few things, Mark, that there's been interest as well in January for Starfelt. That was rebuffed.
Aye, I saw that as well, Paul. I don't know how true that was, but again, Paul, when you're in the team, players, scouts will come up to watch kind of. Right, I want you to go and watch Abada. Do you know what I mean? That I want you to go and check him out. So scouts will come up, and players like Starfelt will catch their eye.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's part and parcel of football. So I've no doubt that Starfelt. I've no doubt even there'll be bids or. People will be trying to talk Carter Vickers into leaving Celtic come the summer. There'll be bids for
I think, you know what, Mark? I think
players.
This transfer window is going to be tough for Celtic
To keep a holiday players, aye.
Yeah. Because we've been so like, I really do still think though, Kyogo and Mieda would be loyal to Ange. I still think two of them would be loyal to Ange. But then Hayata then could be on the other side, Mark. Do you know what I mean? I think Hayata wants to go that next step.
Aye, Hayata's building a career, Paul. And the way he's playing, the way he's shown, he'll go a hell of a long way. Do you know what I mean? It's just, as I raved about him earlier on, I think he's one of the best players I've seen at Celtic in a long, long time, Hatati.
Really has, Mark. Like, especially this season, Mark, because when we signed him last season, he played a full season in Japan. Then he came into Celtic. He said he was tired himself.
Aye. And Ange still picking him. Ange was still picking him, even though the guy came out himself and said he was tired.
And then gets the rest, gets the pre-season. The man, Mark, he's just getting better. Every time better and better each game, isn't he?
He's the best player in Scotland by a country mile than now, Paul.
It is, Mark,
he's one of the best players I've seen at Celtic in a long time. For just what he does.
There's kind of similarities, Mark, as well. Like people are kind of saying it. The way he gets in around the ball and kind of sneaks about because he's so smart reminds of kind of Maracek.
I saw them saying that on Twitter. I wouldn't. That's not the kind of comparison I would have with him. As I said earlier, I'd compare him more to like Petrov.
Yeah.
Kind of keeps me in mind of that, more like a Stan Petrov type of player. But
this new tackling team, Max, seems to be kind of new into his game, don't this? Getting
if he's a right back, Paulie, we should be used to tackling.
It's true,
it's maybe just something that he's just bringing into his game more as he's becoming. You can even see, Paul, as well, how he's kind of risen in confidence see for what you're saying for him, like last year and that kind of thing, it was as if he was maybe not just quite settled in. But this season, you can see that he's playing. He's happy with he's playing and delighted with how he's playing. Do you know? He looks just so more comfortable than he did last year.
Brian, I'm surprised the Scottish media have not been dragging Mark Law into the Manchester City financial. Brian, have you seen Twitter? Have you seen Twitter?
That mad state Looney guy's been trying to do that. But
saying all the Celtic players that they got on loan to Manchester City over the years, and there has to be questioned. Oh my God, man! I wouldn't even go, Brian. I wouldn't even entertain that, man. You know.
But Brian, that's the thing about it. It's not the media. Give me a fair point, right enough. It's not the media that's doing it. It's not cases on Twitter.
Yeah.
Mark Lowe had nothing to do with Man City's finances.
Mm-hmm.
No,
exactly,
Mark Lowe. Excuse me, Mark Lowe probably wasn't even negotiating contracts or anything like that. So a lot of garbage. If they want to get down that road as well, did they not get that Brandon Barker from Man City? There was somebody else a few years ago as well, so that mob will be dug in it as well. That stuff is beyond your kind of comprehension. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, Mark. Exactly. I'm calling.
Right, good luck, Mikey, mate, in your FIFA game. Speak to you later.
Good luck, bud. Good luck, Mark. I'm calling Celtic now, Mark, till the end of the season, taking care of our own business instead of worrying what's going on the other side. Because if we win,
when we're playing with them,
the league is off.
Playing against them.
Exactly. But in the league, take care of business, Mark, and that's it, isn't it?
Aye. That's it. Just, and that, we keep saying it, Paul, they need us. They cling on to us. And we don't need to cling on to them. Do you know what I mean? Everything about their existence depends on Celtic and what Celtic's doing and what Celtic fans are saying and what they're doing and that. And it's a lot of garbage. You know what I mean? Just Celtic, get in there, David, and just endless, countless Celtic managers have said that.
And they showed the other day,
concentrate on our next game. We don't bother about what's going on anywhere else.
And they showed the other day,
that's what Celtic fans should be like.
The other day when fucking, I think it was the Daily Record again, asked him a question again about Beale's press conference. And Ange turned down, mate, do you think I sit down and watch every single press conference? And if this is the questions you're going to be asking every week, there's no point in you come here. Ask me about training. Ask me about my preparations for my game, he says. Or don't ask a question. We're not worried about what's going on the other side, Mark. We take care of our own business. And our own business is win the league. And that's what we're doing. And that's what Ange is doing. You know?
Aye. And he's spot on. The Scottish press, Paul, see anywhere else in the world, right? Even down in England, right? Every press guy's got their own. They've all got their own clubs of support. Italian journalists have all got their own clubs. So they can be. And see if you're a Rangers supporting journalist, I don't think there's anything wrong with just coming out and admitting that. Right? But see if you're a Celtic supporting journalist coming out and admitting that, and you're always going to be a wee bit biased. You know what I mean? Every club, every manager, every kind of chairman's got their own wee kind of pet in the media that they leak stuff to and they give you the wee nod to stories and that about. But up here, it's just a kind of poison that just everything in Scottish football has got to be what's going on at Ibrox and what people think about that. Exactly. Even down to Ange, they're not asking him anything about Celtic. They're asking him about another club.
Yeah.
I mean, they're asking him about another manager. But fans come out and say, look, I think Michael Beale's an absolute clown. I mean, just keep asking me this question, right? What fans come out and say, look, I respect him because I need to respect him as a fellow manager, but he's a bit of a tit. But I mean, the full place would be like a nuclear meltdown.
It would be, yeah. It would be, yeah. Exactly.
They don't go to Michael Beale and ask him what you think Ange. Do you know what do you think about Ange not wanting to talk about you in his press conference? I mean, that would just be me. No, but that would be just that's how ridiculous it's getting, Paul.
Did you see Chris Sutton then when he said something about Chris Sutton, and he picked the wrong person back to have a go at. Chris Sutton said then, I tried to check up Beale's professional crab, but for obvious reasons I wasn't able to do it.
Making a mountain out of molehill. I put that enough, making a mountain out of molehill.
He's fucking brilliant, but he picked the
Aye.
wrong person, right, to have a go. Sutton's definitely not left into Ibrox now anymore, right? That's what he's done.
If
Yes.
you couldn't guarantee safety before, they'll not be able to do it now.
Exactly.
I mean, there again. Why? I don't even know why Chris Sutton came into the conversation, Paul, for him if I did get Sutton.
Because Chris Sutton was on the BBC with Mark Chapman when he gave the goal to Patrick Tissot last week in the cup. And Chris Sutton asked the question: do you think they'll do that in a Celtic match?
Is that not John Lennon?
Who?
Mark Chapman.
No, imagine, don't be saying that. No, it's all to be down in fucking England and he'd be arrested.
No, that's the name of the guy that shot John Lennon.
Yeah, but that was Matt. Is it Matt Chapman? So is it from the BBC? It's Mark as well, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. Mark.
Mark. I thought it was one of his name is Chapman anyway. And
you didn't watch the BBC anyway.
I wasn't. It was on Sutton's Twitter page how this whole argument came up with Beale, and Sutton asked him the question: do you think Beale would do the same for Celtic in a cup game next week? Do you know that if there was a thing like that, do you think he'd let Celtic go up and score? And that's how all this stuff then Beale then started going on about Chris Sutton's team player, and then he goes, "Oh, I'm a Chelsea fan. He was the worst player they ever signed." And I'm looking, going, "You probably had a Chris Sutton jersey, you fool." Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
You know.
Did you forget Brian Laudrup played with Chelsea?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's a right gum.
Tony Cascarino.
Tony Cascarino, Jesus Christ! I remember him playing with us.
But he went to Chelsea and we get Tom Boyd in the swap deal.
Tom Boyd, yeah, that was it, Mark. Yeah, that was Tom Boyd, right? That was one of the best transfers.
Celtic ever, aye.
You know, Jesus Christ. Speaking of safety, there, what you were saying there, there's been talk on Twitter this week that the Green Brigade are looking to increase the Lisbon stand and convert it to an all-standing stand. They're going to make arrangements to the Celtic board, the Glasgow City Council, to make the Celtics atmosphere more electric than it already is. Some objectives have been coming up though in recently. There's main concerns over the Secretariat singing by the Green Brigade, season ticket holders that are already there. Glasgow City Council, for safety reasons, be there. There's a wheelchair section there, Mark, as well. Is it the Jock Stein stand? I don't know, man. I live in Ireland. I've never been to Glasgow, so.
To be honest, but I'm not too sure actually what end they're planning. They're talking about doing it in.
Is it the end that they're in, or is it the other end over?
Some people have said it's the opposite end.
Mm-hmm. But is there a cooperative box down there though as well?
Aye.
Hospitality boxes, isn't there?
Aye, that's one of the problems with that as well.
And there's wheelchair access down there, I think, Mark, isn't there?
There's wheelchair access at the
on
corner,
both sides.
The north stand, where the Jock Stein stand means the north stand.
Mm-hmm,
I've actually sat in there one of the lasses in the ticket office got as a seat in there when I was first on my crutches and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like right in the bottom corner of the north stand where it meets the Jock Stein stand.
Mm-hmm. For me, it'd be fantastic to see a big, huge green and white wall, because I think that'd be very intimidating.
They're rebels saying it's behind the goals in the Jock Stein stand.
Behind the goal, yeah. So it'd be amazing.
That's on your left-hand side, Paul, if you're coming out the tunnel.
All right.
That's stone.
And they're already on the opposite side, so in the corner, yeah? So they're on
the Green Brigade on the opposite side.
Yeah, so they want to go over to the other side, so is it, yeah?
Aye.
Yeah,
the boys group, they're in the kind of upper corner where the main stand meets the Jock Stein stand.
So they want to kind of bring it all together.
Aye.
Yeah, I get you now, yeah. So,
I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah, but so when I was reading about it, right, there's kind of like this waiting list, Mark, to get into the standing section with the Green Brigade, right? And they want to get those people on the waiting list into the section and open it up. But people with their season tickets, Mark, will have to give up their season tickets to get this done.
But
So
how
what?
many of them in that section would take up a row for a break? Do you want to give up your seating ticket for a standing one?
That's the thing, yeah. Do you think they do? What if there's old? What if you're going to the match, Mark, with your dad, and your dad is in his 70s, or you have a young child, Mark, that you go to the matches with? Like, there's
No,
all these things you need to consider. Do you know what I mean?
no, definitely. It's not a foregone conclusion. There'll need to be some kind of discussions or stuff like that. But I think one of the main things would be asking the people that's sitting there, would you be willing to change your ticket so that you've instead of having a seat, you're getting a standing ticket.
Mm-hmm.
If the majority of them want to do that, then you can take it maybe a stage further. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's anything that's going to happen the next year or two.
No. This could be 3 or 4 years down the line, Mark, because it's only kind of
because
they're
it'll
only
cost
kind
a
of
lot.
talking about now Twitter.
It'll cost a lot of money as well, Paul. Do you know what I mean? To rip out all the seats and get the safe standing and that in, but I definitely anything that helps the atmosphere at the park's
Yeah,
got
but
to be a good thing for me.
what happens then, Mark, with Europe when you're not left standing in Europe? Do they put seats back in there then for the European games?
There's seats. See, Paul.
The seats will stay there, but yes.
See, when you get into the standing section, the new Paul, it's like don't get. I could put a seat down if I wanted to. There's a seat. There's a seat there. Do you know what I mean? I could put it down if I wanted to, but I don't need to because I can even with my crutches. I can lean on the banister thing, the railing. I'm all right, but there is still the seats are still there. It's just they're up and there's enough room. It's not like a normal Fitbit stadium, Paul. If you're standing up, you've just get fucking a fit between you and the seat in front of you. Do you know what I mean? There is but there is seats there that get put down and can get tied up or tied down or whatever kind of thing. So even when it comes to Europe, there is still seats in the stadium, aye. But that's going to change as well, Paul. Jeff has got to get with the programme with this kind of thing too.
Well, we were there yesterday, no, Mark. When we were down in Torres Cross yesterday, right? The place was full, and we couldn't find no seats, Mark. That was where me and my cousin could sit together. So we were standing in between the stands. You know what I mean? Like they say, there's an upper tier, there's a bottom tier. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
so
aye.
we were standing that path. And next, the security guard comes up to us like, and he goes, "Lads, you can't stand there." And I'm looking, going, "Man, you tell me where to go." You know what I mean? You're advertising. I said, "You sold 6,800 tickets. Where am I supposed to go?" You know what I mean? There's no fucking seats, like. You know, so it's either I stay here or fucking like sit there on the floor. You tell me where to go. And he left us there. Like there was no issue. Like there was me and my cousin. You swear if we were 16-year-olds who would fucking start cursing or do you know what I mean?
Start a bit of riot over it.
Yeah, fucking grown men like me and my cousin were like, you know what I mean? And you know, it's I think, Max, some security guard by the pole just goes to their head. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
You
just know? Some of them are pure idiots, Paul. Just
and we weren't blocking no one's view, Mark. Do you get me? Because the upper tier was above us. Do you know what I mean? So there was a wall. Do you know what I mean? Then there were steps then on the way up, like, you know what I mean?
It's like that wee Hun Secret steward, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That wee carrot he'd out guy that means we were all putting memes together with him, the wee staunch guy that staunch there with his arms folded and stuff like that.
Yeah, like him now would be a perfect example. No, Mac would come up and go, "You can't stand there."
Definitely.
Do you know? You know?
I can remember years ago, me and my mates, we went to Ibrox for was a League Cup semi-final or a Scottish Cup semi-final, maybe against Dundee United, and our seats were right across from the Ibrox tunnel on the very front row, and they wouldn't let us put flags over the wall. Do you know what I mean? At the front, and they tell us that we couldn't put flags over it because the wall had just been painted. So one of this boy that was sitting just along for us, he started kicking up merry hell about. The boy had a white mark in his trousers, but he started bawling and shooting at the steward saying it was wet paint off the wall. But it wasn't wet paint off the wall. It was just to hear this boy saying to us, "Oh, you can't do that. That was just been painted." Because we kept doing it, taking him off. That was just been painted. And then this guy, a wee half-cut guy, "Here, mate, look, I've just got my paint over my trousers off your wall." And the boy didn't know what to say. You know, but it's just some of these security stewards and that. It's guys that wanted to be coppers. Do you know what I mean?
That's it, Mark. That's what I always say to bouncers by our security guards. Your failed guard who probably applied for the guards and they couldn't get in, so you came to fucking security. You know,
Aye.
that's what I feel
Right.
like. But,
Good night, Brian. Cheers for
and
coming in again, mate. See you
but
later, bud.
back to the thing, Mark. Like, would you be all for it? Yeah, the
Aye,
standing
definitely.
section.
Aye. Aye, 1,000,000%, Paul.
You know, what do you think it could do, though, Mark? The Celtic, like in terms, because you hear many ex-players and the European experience, and one fella who's always talking about it, Mark, is on his podcast is Ben Foster. He's always saying he can never forget the atmosphere at
Aye.
Celtic Park. You know, like I
You
think.
could probably, Paul, compare it to the jungle, what the jungle used to be like. See if
Mhm.
Celtic could do that and get on. I mean, look at the amount of people in the Green Brigade and look at it. I mean, people think that full section's like the Green Brigade. It's no, it's a
No,
group of guys at the front. Do you know what I mean? There's maybe, I don't think there's what, a couple of hundred guys that are actually in the Green Brigade as such that actually do the work on all the stuff in that. But you can just imagine if they've got a full stand like that, the size of that bit, and the tifos they can do. And I know it's a bit touchy, people don't like it, but imagine even the pyro and stuff in places like that. I mean, see, that would take it. I mean, they compared it to like the yellow wall at Dortmund and things like that. And the things
that's what they're looking at. Yeah, impressive, Mark. Like, do you know what I mean?
If Mikey was on, I mean, Mikey and Jonas go to Atalanta games and that, they've been in there, they kind of crazy Italian ends and stuff like that. And that would be brilliant at Celtic Park. It really would.
It'd be intimidating, Mark, for any team as well coming there, wouldn't it?
And but Paul, it's like, look at the noise the Green Brigade make, and that's in one wee corner. Imagine a full stand being able to get involved and do like the choreographed stuff and that. Do you know what I mean?
But do you think, because you actually spoke about that kind of recently, Mark, that that you have the Green Brigade and the other lads you said, what's their name again, Mark?
The boys.
The boys, yeah, like
the boys.
That they kind of sing two different songs. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll be singing one song, the Green Brigade be singing another song, and if they had them grouped together and sing the same song, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you spoke about that recently. Like that's actually a good idea.
I mean, don't get us wrong. There's a few of them in that, and they do their best, but they're stuck away up my back corner, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the Green Brigade were kind of saying, like that.
Do you know what I mean? And I know they've got a bit of differences between the two groups, but they'll come together for the love of Celtic. Do you know what I mean? And if the two of them could get together and full that get together, I mean, it would be amazing to see that kind of thing, Paul. And the atmosphere it would be completely electric. I think everybody, even you're saying about the big European nights and that, nobody can dispute that. But how many games do people go to and then you see it on the telly and the atmosphere's just flat? It's just the Green Brigade singing.
Exactly, Mark.
Like everybody else, Paul, even at games, you can see people and they spend the game sitting watching video on the Green Brigade and stuff like that. Rather than actually watching the game and getting involved in actually watching the game as such in that.
Because even when this new Sky deal keeps in, Mark, there's going to be more night games. Do you get? We're going to have Saturday night football. We'll have a Friday night football this is their plans. We still have to see if Sky Sport do it. Like, but even a Friday night, Mark, or a Saturday night game there at 5:30 under the lights, like, and you see that atmosphere. Don't mind about a European team. It's a Scottish team coming to Glasgow.
That's what I'm saying, Paul. I'll become. It won't just be the big. If you've got that kind of size of crowd that are getting into that kind of ultra, whatever you want to call it, approach to supporting the team, no matter what game that's going to be, that bit's going to be bouncing. That's going to cause great.
Because like every kind of big stadium, Mark, has a section like that for their fans. You know what I mean? You have Manchester United, they call it the Stratford end, where their kind of fans be. Then you have the Cop in Liverpool. Do you get me? You know, that stand, and it's known for their fans down there, like that get the atmosphere going. Like ours is the Green Brigade. Like they should have more space, Mark, to bring the atmosphere. But do you think then, Mark, would it, like, I'm not disagreeing with their singing or anything like that, but I'm looking from what the club would think, Mark. Would they be the Secretarian singing, then be one maybe stopping block for this happening?
Paul, see, I've said it before. See, really, there's only a couple of songs that I don't like Celtic fans singing. Do you know what I mean? The rest of it, see what half the people are sectarian singing all that, it's a lot of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, all it is, Paul, is the media and everybody trying to lump us into the All Firm thing. It's an All Firm thing. Rangers sing this, Celtic sing that. And it's no, there's a couple of songs that are a bit cringy, but see, apart from that, and if the two groups could come together and just kind of say, right, we'll do this, right, this is our kind of song list. And even doing it, if I was saying this, I know to Mikey the other day, and that, what happened to songs like Just Can't Get Enough and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I thought that was brilliant with Celtic
That's a great song, yeah.
Aye.
Bouncing up and down, yeah.
Aye. As I've said before, man, see if you ever do get that standing section, we should start playing that jump around.
Yeah, they're like
I mean, is it not a college American football team or that does it, Paul? Mind I put the videos and that up. Imagine that at Celtic Park. Just all the whooping, the whistling, and then jump around. That would be amazing.
Standing section now holds 2,700. The Jock Stein stand would hold. Imagine that, Mark.
I know.
13,000, man, of a green and white wall. Man, it'd be some spectacle to see, Mark, wouldn't it? Not just to see it, but to experience it.
Aye.
You know?
Aye, definitely. You see just the amount of people just in there making noise, singing, chanting, cheering, the flags, the colour, and that it would be brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Because I'd be the same boat with you, Mark. Like, you know, I mean, I wouldn't think there'd be bar one or two verses when they're saying the IRA in it or something like that. Like, but Mark, for me, like, it's just a song. Do you know what I mean? Like, those days are gone. Do you know what I mean? The fucking troubles are gone. Like, and it's, as you said, like, it's the media then they're holding on to, oh, they're singing this, they're going to cause trouble. I mean, like, it's the media, for me, that kind of keeps bringing this kind of crap up.
Aye. I mean, let's face it, Paul. When does a club ever mention it? Unless it's something really bad. That the majority, like, even some of the things that you can, it takes a lot to offend me, Paul. So even things that people get offended with the Green Brigade and that doesn't kind of bother me, but you can see why maybe people are a bit offended with some of it. But it's still not a straight, but that's down to personal. I could say something to you, Paul, that you would take offence to, but fucking Mikey or Welsh, you would find it hilarious. Do you know what I mean? It's just down to your personal what offends you. And that's for me, if the club's not saying anything, just let them batter in.
Did I see someone actually come out there? Was the next referee, Mark, saying the Scottish? It was the referee association said the Scottish FA should do something to Celtic about the banner about Douglas Ross last week, and some fella came out saying the Scottish FA have no authority to punish Celtic for what their fans put up.
I don't know. I didn't see that, Paul. I did see something. I saw that Hugh Keevins wrote something about. If it had been about Michael Beale, Peter Law would have to have come out and apologised. I don't know how that would work out. Peter Law's only the chairman. I don't know why he would need to do it. Just Stephen. Is that a new face? Evening, Stephen. Was at the game in the Jock Stein yesterday. I don't see it happening, but would be awesome. But so if you get a season ticket, Stephen, would you swap? Just sit at your seat at one for a standing one if you get the option.
See, that's the thing, Maggie. Like, you don't know kind of like what kind of age group fans would be in there. Like, there could be a mix between kids or an older generation. Do you know what I mean? Do you know?
You can't
unless they can accommodate from Denmark going to another part of the stadium or with the North Cove, where they were in the North Cove.
That's Foxy boy.
You know?
Oh, he's got his Sunday name on. Stephen Fox. It's Foxy boy, Paul.
So that's maybe they could accommodate them there, Mark. Do you know what I mean? The fans who kind of don't want to go. You know, it's a big, like, it's going to take a lot of planning, Mark, isn't it, for
Oh, aye.
something like this to happen? As you said, like it's not going to happen next season. It's not, but it's the people who want it done need to have their kind of facts right. Look, this is what we can do. This is what we're going to try do. Like we can fans who don't want to be there can accommodate over here. Do you know that kind of a thing? You know.
But no, but I was thinking about it, Paul. Right, see where the Green Brigade are.
Mm-hmm.
Why was the plan maybe not to move it round towards like into the Lisbon line stand? Or is that because eventually we're going to end up giving them their 8,000 tickets back?
True. I don't know. I don't see that happening anymore, Mark. I think. Do you?
No, I don't think so. I don't. But is that maybe why? I mean, imagine we went away and spent money. But I mean, it would cost millions probably. Imagine we went away and spent millions of pounds to take, instead of moving it, like what we're talking about there, moving it over into the Jock Stein stand, and we actually built it into the Lisbon line stand, and then Rangers turn round out of fucking pure scunnery and say, right, we'll give you your 8,000 tickets back. Where's your 8,000 tickets?
Exactly. Yeah, just to go on by, yeah, that's what I heard, Rival. It took about 5 years.
Aye.
Just to get that kind of section done, Mark. Like it's going to be a long process, but if they do, like, well, maybe then as well, Mark. You know what I mean? 5 years time, things could be different. Like, do you know what I mean? You know, things Celtic could expand the stadium in 5 years time. You never know, and put that section in there.
We could be in that European Super League.
Exactly, man. You never know, man. I mean,
aye, 5 years. Aye, could be. I mean, it is. That's what we're saying. Anything could happen in the next few years. The way football is, do you know what I mean?
You know, we might even have a ball. We might have some fucking thing floating in the air. Do you know what I mean?
A floating pitch in a casino.
Jesus Christ, man! Only God knows what FIFA. Well, and we be still using the partial VAR thing, Mark, in Scotland.
Aye. We'll still be cheapskating VAR.
You know, Jesus Christ, man. You know, was there any controversy? Like, there was the penalty, but they took a long time again with that penalty again yesterday, Mark, didn't they?
Aye. It just it's just everything again was just, and then I couldn't. But see the one who they gave us penalty and then gave it for offside. There was no way in the world that was a penalty.
It's harsh, Mark, wasn't it?
Aye, just. Well, they're my wee furry
Was
friend.
it because maybe
they're my wee furry friend on me, Steph?
Was it because Mark kind of Kyogi got the ball first and then Hayes came in from behind him, maybe? Why it was given?
I didn't even really see much contact, to be honest, Paul.
No.
And we're not going to sit here and slag Super Johnny Hayes off, are we?
You know, but even Kev was at the game, and Kev said when the penalty was given, they were looking, going, "What was that for?" Do you know what I mean? Because they saw nothing really at the game to kind of justify it. But look, Mark, fuck it. Penalties that went against us, man. We take it, boy. Do you know what I mean?
There's that one for Rebel, Paul. I showed you the video of that yesterday.
My God, Rebel. And then you see last week, Mark. You see last week, right? Goulson dragging a Patrick Thistlefare to the floor. Last week in their game and getting nothing. And you see a little tug in a jersey. And then it's given. And Morales was putting his jersey as well.
That was it. The two of them were pulling each other's jerseys.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely shocking.
You know, it really is, boy. Really.
And that just
really
brings
is.
us into Sunday's game.
Wait there now, just one there. Reed Stevens there. For me, should be in the traditional Celtic end or the old jungle that it was that's corporate now would be tremendous. I was in the standing section 2 games ago. Maybe it's my age, but it's not the way to watch footy. That's what I'm saying, Mark. Mightn't be for everyone. You know, different age groups.
Aye.
You know, mightn't be for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, you can see for and against for kind of both sets of fans, like, can't you? You know?
Oh, aye. I mean, I tell you, Paul, for years I sat there in the south stand in the snobby seats, and it was dire. Do you know what I mean? It was dire. You couldn't even shout. You weren't really. dirty looks if you shout it and stuff like that.
Jesus, man. In sitting down.
See in the main stand.
Yes.
That's where my season ticket was for years.
Wow.
But it was like.
And explain to me where the old jungle used to be, Mark. That was in the old stadium, was it? Where was that situation?
That was the bottom of the north stand. That's where the north stand was. As you came out the tunnel, the jungle was facing you.
Oh wow. That would have been some sight. I imagine that.
Aye.
You know, Rebels. We're going to get on to them now. Seconds there now, just.
Foxy said it's the best way to watch footy. You said the best not to. You're accusing him of being
best way.
Yeah, you said you're put me off Foxy. Didn't like it in the standing section.
Maybe I should get fucking glasses. Or maybe I'm sure my age.
I mean, I've been in it a couple of times now. I think it's brilliant. I really do.
I actually enjoyed, Mark. Like, I know it's a big difference now between Celtic Park and fucking Cork City. Like, but I actually enjoyed standing up watching the game.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? I really did. Like, you know, normally I sit down like because the lead. Do you know? But I actually enjoyed it. Like, you know.
It's a bit more. I don't know how to put it. Just they're even me, Steph, saying I've sat everywhere in the stadium and honestly wouldn't want anywhere but standing there. We used to sit in the south stand. It was pure pish. Aye, I'm the same. I've sat in every stand Celtic's going multiple points, and for me the standing section it's the best there's been for the Celtic Park for the old jungle. It really is.
Wow, brilliant. So Celtic return to Hampden Park on Sunday the 26th to face the Rangers in the 3 p.m. Scottish League Cup final. Rebel is saying they're at 5 games now. They have an opposition player sent off. This is the problem, Mark, and Terence mentioned it before numerous times in the podcast with us. It's not Rangers, I fear. It's the refs. Now, Nick Walsh and Beeson and VAR next week.
Aye.
That's what scares me. Not Rangers, Mark. That's what scares me. If they're getting penalties like that. No, I could say then as well, Mark, I don't see these decisions they're getting against other teams being getting against Celtic, though, do you? Or are we not just giving them that chance to get those decisions?
What do you mean, Paul?
Do you know, like, that penalty there yesterday, Mark, and stuff like that? Could you see that being given against Celtic in the Rangers game? Or would they bottle this?
No.
Or would you give this? I wouldn't think so, Mark, would they?
No, we wouldn't get a penalty for that.
No, but I said, would they get a penalty for that against us?
No, I don't think so, Paul. Because the eyes of the world's on that game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't. That's what I'm trying to say, Mark. Like, I don't see the referees making these decisions in these games. And plus, Mark, what I know about this Celtic team as well, like, we kind of don't give away these tackles to give those decisions. Bar staff that might go on a fucking horrendous fucking thing and do something.
But then look at the fouls we committed against Aberdeen yesterday.
That's exactly, Mark. Niggling fouls. That's all they are, and that's what scares me. If we make one slight contact with a Rangers player in the box, it could be given away as a penalty against us. Like, you know.
Aye, I know what you're saying. Well, you off, Bobby? Right. Good night, bud. Nice to see you again, mate.
You know, that's what scares me.
Again, you just don't give them the chance to the opportunity, Paul. Do you know what I mean? Angel have said that. Angel tell the players that. Look, we know what can happen here. The stupidest wee touch they're going down, it's a penalty stuff. But so just make sure you're not giving the referee a decision to make.
Mrs. Fox says there'll be a wrong VAR decision next week, and there'll be a riot to ensure. Jesus Christ!
And that's just in your living room, Foxy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mark, I think anyway, Celtic need to play now the way we've played the last couple of games since we played them last.
Aye. Oh,
and if
Celtic,
Mark,
aye, that's it. That's it. I mean, they're Paul. They're rotten. They are absolutely rotten. I mean, they're Partick Thistle. Look at the game against Partick Thistle last week. I mean, that's Partick Thistle, Paul, and they struggled to beat Partick Thistle.
And they needed to cheat to do it, to get that one goal, yeah?
Aye. Do you know what I mean? They're just scraping by games week in, week out with penalties and this and that. Celtic turn up and we'll destroy them. A full strength Celtic will destroy them next week. And we're at full strength. I mean, unless again we keep going back to that game at Hampden, Paul. Ibrox, right? They said this bug was going through the team, and that purely explains so much, didn't it? James Forrest getting picked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
James
Bawz would never have
nah.
started that game, Mark.
No.
If he, do you know what I mean?
Juranovic coming on. Greg Taylor getting injured. Juranovic coming on, and Juranovic. I know people were saying his seed was turned with this and we're getting a move, but nah. Juranovic was there. I think he stepped up that day and played through the kind of no been feeling 100% barrier. I'll give him his due for that. I don't think it was anything to do with he didn't want to be playing or anything like that. So
I think it's a big boost as well, Mark. Now as well, like fucking we have Taylor back, and Alistair Johnston looks kind of settled as well. Like he won't let players fucking push him around. You know, in that game.
Tillman Lundstrom
went off yesterday, yeah.
Doubt.
Yeah, but Beale said if he has to play him, he play him through the pain barrier. You know what I mean? Beale's taking a risk on people's careers here, Mark, with this, like, you know what I mean?
Is that what he's come out and said?
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't be coming out with stuff like that.
If they have to play, they'll have to play through the pain barrier. You know Lundstrom is in that bootstrap. Do you know what I mean, at the moment? And he's saying Patrick Tissell, he was still in this bootstrap, Mark, you know, down the ankles. And Beale came out after that game and he said, we give him till all the time he needs to see how he is for the cup final. And the man's in a fucking bootstrap there for the last month or so. Do you know what I mean? You know, like that's a manager, Mark, who doesn't care about his players, that cares about his own glory. Do you know what I mean?
And there, Ange won't even tell you how long somebody got to boot for injured.
Like, Mark, we always go on about these games, and these games are always running the midfield, you know, but Celtic first 11 that start that game need to set the tempo in this game from the first whistle. Not let them dictate this. Like we've seen for the last couple of games now, Mark, against them. It's Rangers who set the tempo first. And then we tell it needs to go back to that game, Mark, in January there when Ange first came in, Mark, and all the talk was about Rangers. And it was when we beat them, was it 3-1 or something like that? When Cal McGregor was screaming at fucking Ryan Jack at the sideline. That's the type of Celtic team that needs to turn up to this game on Sunday.
And that's it, but Paul, I'm 1,000,000% confident. 1,000,000% because what you're saying, Paul, if Celtic turn up and not even play the way we know we can play, just play the way we've been playing. Do you know what? Just the way we've been playing. The way we've been playing yesterday, last week, blah, 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 Paul, that's enough to beat them. Celtic's first 11 at their worst, Paul, they would beat Rangers' first 11 at their best. I'm talking about our first 11, do you know what I mean? The actual our first choice at 11 that we said earlier on. Because they're just not that good, Paul. That defence is rank rotten.
Do you go like what you're saying there, Mark, early on the podcast at the start, like Abada always seems to get the better of Barisic in there. Like, do we stop Abada, and then like you're either taking Yota or Maeda? But I actually think, Mark, this is a game we actually need Maeda. That I think Maeda could pin Tavernier back. Like Tavernier won't get up and down that line if Maeda's there. I don't think. You know.
He'll keep him. I know what you're saying there.
Do you know what I mean? Just with Maeda, Mark, he's pressing and stuff like that. Because if our press is perfect next week, Mark.
Good night, Foxy. Thanks for coming in again,
buddy, thanks for coming in. If our press is perfect next week, Mark, we pin them back, and that will create a space for Kalmak, Hayase, or O'Reilly or Moy in there. You know, like people are saying, Mark, it was a mistake not to start Moy in the last game because of something like we spoke about, Mark, like what Moy brings to the team, an experienced head in that midfield. I still think Moy brings a bit of physicality to that midfield as well, Mark. You know, because don't think
Well,
Moy's
no,
that type of player. Like
he's a
you
wee
let
guy.
you push around him.
No, he's a wee guy, but he doesn't mind a bit of digging a tackle in the midfield. Definitely.
Yeah, you know.
I think that's one. That right. I mean, right. So my team for Sunday's going to be Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the defence picks itself. I've got to say Ralston there. Johnson, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, and Taylor. Midfield, McGregor, Hattati, and then for me, it's Moy
O'Reilly, is it?
or O'Reilly. Aye, it's got to be that one. Up front, it's going to be Kyogo, and I'd probably go
Mark.
Yota Maeda. Aye, that's who I would go for. Aye.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the same there. Yeah, what Rebels 86 has said there, Mark. Like I think looking at
it's the Moyer O'Reilly, isn't it? That's the only for me. That's the only kind of choice Ange's got to make come Sunday.
Yeah, Moy O'Reilly. Like I think that's the big decision he needs to make, Mark. Yeah.
But see the thing about that as well. That's a kind of good thing as well, Paul.
But I'm not worried, Mark, who he plays in there. Do you get me?
But it's a good thing. I mean, we're going about how big our squad is in that, Paul. But see, when you kind of break it down, I say this all the time. See, apart from it's the two wingers, Paul, all the time, and one midfield role. That's what's up. Everything else picks itself, and everybody else is fit, apart from the one midfield role and your two wingers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for me. That's a good sign of a good team, Paul, and sign of a solid team. When all you've got really available with injuries and that is really three positions up for grab.
Mm-hmm. Just saying there, that Tiedemann actually went off holding his hamstring yesterday, and he's supposed to be out, but I'm still expecting Beale, Mark, to throw him in there. Like, Mark, their team is that team is aging, and there's no reason, Mark, we should outrun them next week. Like, I really can't see it. Like, unless a catastrophe happens to Celtic next week, Mark, and we bottle it, there should be no reason we're going out there and hammering them. But that's what I'm saying, Mark. It'll only take a Celtic catastrophe for me for them to beat us next week.
Aye,
you know.
I just saying as well, Paul. Their midfield. It's like a lot of journeyman cloggers, and which if it comes down to a kicking match, Paul, we're going to struggle. That's another thing it can go against us if the ref lets it become a kind of kicking match.
Exactly.
Because we have been, that's happened in a couple of derbies over the last year or two. Do you know what I mean? And that's why, Mark, I actually want Moy in there. That's why I'm kind of swaying towards Moy, because just going, but like I just reading Rebels thing there. Moy is calm on the ball as well, Mark, and he's passing. Like he'd bring that experience I think that's needed in that midfield, Mark, into this game. You know, a more experienced head next to Callum Mack. You know, that's where I'd be kind of swaying towards Moy next week, and ain't that amazing? You know what I mean? That we're saying this about Aaron Moy, who I questioned, you questioned, everyone. I think nearly every Celtic man questioned why we signed Aaron Moy. I know we're saying what he actually brings to the team, Mark. Do you know what I mean? You know? I just said earlier, Paul, it's a bit like a water. It's just that kind of Paul Lambert type of, he's not going to do much fancy, but he'll always be effective. He'll not waste any passes. He'll not waste any. Do you know what I mean? He never does anything wrong. That kind of nothing fancy, nothing great, nothing outstanding, but just a good, well-rounded, solid player.
I was reading a funny one there today about the fella Roof, one Rangers supporter put up and said, if Roof didn't have all these injuries when he was at Leeds, he'd be easily a top 4 player in the Premier League. And I'm going, man, what plan are you fucking living on, man? Roof, Jesus Christ, man. Do you know what though, man?
It's a different mentality, man. They live in a bubble.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're so serious about what they're saying, and everyone is just laughing at their things that they come out with. Like, do you know what I mean? That's why, Mark, I want to win this game to put fucking Beale back in his box. Do you know? Saying
Aye.
how lucky Celtic are to come this way. Do you know what I mean? And I just want Celtic to go out next week, Mark, and pump them. Not beat them, Mark. Pump them. And
You know
put
how?
that cunt back in his box.
Do you not even think that Celtic players and even Ange, that although they'll come out publicly and say it, do you know what I mean? Do you know how
I think so, Mark. I think Ange is saying that. I think Ange is saying this to the players. He's calling us lucky. Do you know what I mean? We're lucky to be where we are. We go out and show them we're the biggest team in Scotland. Do you know what I mean? We need to put them back in their box. I think that needs to be the attitude, Mark, of this Celtic team next week. We're the number one team in Scotland, and we're going to show them we're the number two. That would be my, do you know the huddle?
Aye.
That would be my team talk from Calmac next week, Mark. We're the number one team in Scotland. We need to show them we're the number one team in Scotland in this game. You know?
Aye, get them fired up. But again, Paul, we turn up, Paul, but they're not getting near us. And see, really, Beale with all his blurs and sound bites in that, Paul, he's just setting them up for the same fall that Pedro Casinha did, Mark Warburton did. All these managers that come in. Aye, right, Stevie G won the league when there was no fans in the stadiums. Gio got them to a European final and stuff like that, but didn't win it. And look at what they've done for then. It's just a complete fantasy world that they live in. That over the long term, I mean, anything we've got to say. I've got as I said, I've got 1,000,000% confidence we'll win this. But anything can happen between now and Sunday. But over the longer term, Celtic are the premier club in Scotland, and they've proven it over the last 30, 40 years, apart from the 90s when they were cheating. And that's and even down to the fact, Angel, we said earlier, Celtic just concentrate on our next game, right? Forget what they're doing, right? But our next game is against them. So
yeah, exactly. So now we think about them, Mark. Yeah, exactly.
Aye, Sanchez probably say, look, this guy's on here. Look at the shite this guy's coming out and talking about us as a club and us as players and us as a. Do you know what I mean? And that will fire them on even more.
That's what I'm saying, Mark. Like, that's what I'd be using if I was Ange as a motivation to the team. Look what this fucker here was saying there with that big huge mole in his face.
He's been talking about us for weeks. That's why I need to say. Look, he's been talking about us for weeks now.
Exactly, Mark. Since he came in,
we'll start talking about them this week because we're due to play them next week.
Do you think maybe Greg Taylor will be saying to Michael Beale, "Shut your fucking mole"? Instead of
shut your mole.
Shut your mole. I'm even getting fired up for it now, Mark. Like, that's what I am like. Do you know what I mean?
As I've said, Paul, the other week, it's as if he's getting fed lines from behind him. Right? Say this.
Like a puppet.
Aye, because he's as I've said, Paul, they didn't like Van Bronckhorst as a manager because he was too nice. He was too nice. He met Ange for coffees, or met him in a coffee shop and spoke to him. How dare Van Bronckhorst talk to a Celtic manager? He was too nice and too honest. And I think there's players there that didn't like that. And I think there's people up the stairs at Ibrox didn't like that, and that was why you never really got. He never really got much of a chance as soon as he came out and started saying that there wasn't as much.
They were signing players that was suited to his system either.
That Ross Wilson, and then he came out and says, "Look, there isn't all this money that you think there is. We've not got this." And that right away, that was it. He's
exactly. Who the fuck are you to saying that to our fans? Right? Do you know what I mean?
And now Beale's came in and he's like a caricature. Do you know what I mean? He's like a caricature of a Rangers manager. He'll just come out here, he might as well just go, these Celtic bastards, I hate them. And that's it, yes, what a manager.
That's basically what he's saying.
We're going to win the league now. We've got Mick Beale. We've got Mick Beale as manager now, and he hates Celtic.
But he did concede. He didn't concede it, but he basically said we've no chance of winning that league. Do you know what I mean? He still hasn't. He's come in here now, Mark, and he still hasn't been able to cut the gap. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, see, the European, the big teams in Europe, blah, 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 all these fans, they all laugh at the Scottish League and the Scottish game and that, right? Look at some of the players and managers that come up to the Scottish game and it's chewed them up and spat them out.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, look at Joey Barton.
Joey Barton, prime example, boy.
Do you know what I mean? Managers that have come up here with reputations. That Paul Le Guen, the French guy, Rangers had.
Yeah, they. She was at Spurs, wasn't they?
But all these guys that have, the Scottish games come in and it's just chewed them up and spat them out, and that's what's going to happen to Beale. Because he's even Gerrard did the kind of, Gerrard's been taught if he was 6-7-year-old at Liverpool how to deal with the press, how to do this, how to be this man. So Gerrard was a lot wiser than for his years in his managerial career would show. Do you know what I mean? Because he was used to dealing with the press.
Yeah, she looked at the managers he grew up at, Mark, George Houllier and fucking Rafa Benitez.
And having that glary, being the Liverpool captain and the so-called biggest league in the world, he was used to dealing with the press and he knew how the press worked. Do you know what I mean? So he could work them back. Beale's not got a clue. He just opens his mouth and lets his belly rumble, and that's it. That's it out there. Oh, he kind of...
See, that's it, Mark, boy. That's why I want Celtic to win next week, boy, is to put him back in his box. Do you know what I mean? You know? Because I get over, Mark, I get over fucking Rangers managers speaking and stuff like that, but I just, between all the managers, Mark, that have been there recently, I just don't like him. Really don't like him.
Aye. I mean, even Walter Smith and that, Walter Smith very rarely mentioned Celtic.
No, he didn't, no.
Do you know what I mean? Rangers managers, you hate it. They spoke about Celtic when we were playing them, but apart from that, it was nothing like that.
You know, fucking hell. Like, I suppose then it's a huge boost for Celtic as well, Mark, that Kyogo came in off the bench yesterday, you know, and that he is fit to go next week, you know.
You'll be starting.
Well, definitely, definitely. You know, I'm really happy now. Like, I know now, like, I've been impressed with him since he came in, like, but it wouldn't be a game, Mark, I'd like to start through injury.
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean? And is this a mistake by Celtic and maybe by Ange as well, Mark? Like, he has three transfer windows now, and we still only have 2 strikers.
I think that's just going to be hit, isn't it?
You know, I think that's it, Mark. It's going to be 2 strikers going forward. But for me, Mark, I think it's a risk. It really is a risk on Celtic's thing. Either sign a young lad or promote a lad up, Mark. You know
unless we Rocco's got to get promoted with Boston Lille next season, Paul.
You know, how old is Rocco now, Mark? 17?
I think he'll be about 18 the time the next season starts.
Yeah, but there should be no reason really, Mark, why he shouldn't be like
third
choice.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Because I really do think, Mark, we need 3 strikers. You know, I really do.
I've said that for years with you, Paul.
Yeah, you have, Mark. You know what I mean? And I know you've seen it, like, because I know we have all there, Mark.
But would be good to come off the bench. He would ruffle them, but
But that's what I'm saying. His physique would be great. Do you know what I mean? But
see if you get the likes of Kyogo, Maeda and that running them ragged for
I think,
60
Mark,
minutes and then walk him alone.
I think anyway, Mark, for me, next week, Mark, if Kyogo wasn't fit, he'd either play Maeda or Bada there, not all.
I think that as well.
You know, I don't think, I just think it's a bit too soon for all to start this type of game. You know?
Is it just he's no just quite up to fitness, up to speed,
up to
like Angie's
even with
level,
the system, Mark, even with the system, Mark, the way we play, because I've noticed like things there the last couple of games he came on that he's making the wrong one when Kyogo won't do that. Do you know what I mean? You know, Kyogo would make the space, but he's making the run towards goal. Just little things there. I think he still needs to kind of build into his game, and he's only going to learn.
And the rest of his teammates need to get used to how he plays as well. That stuff.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to know yet, really, Mark, if O is going to make a run inside or outside. But like you see there, the the combination or the understanding between Hayase, Mida, Abada, they know what Kyogo is going to be. They know what run Kyogo is going to make. Do you know what I mean? You
Aye.
know, it's all understanding, like, you know what I mean? You know, you know. Oh, hasn't yeah, that's like yeah, he hasn't played since November, like Mark. So like he's not match fit yet, like that. You know what I mean?
Well,
You know.
that's probably why he didn't come on last week to replace Kyogo.
Hmm.
Because I think maybe then it would have been a case of if we put him on, then we're going to have to take him back off later on.
Probably, Mark. Yeah,
Which is a
like,
bit,
and
it's
you know
just a
what
bit, it's
though? He did
bit
like,
could be a
and I
bit
give
a
him
bit in the
credit, Mark.
Bawz, isn't
Like
it?
he did pull in a shift yesterday. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think he'd be well able to handle the Rangers defence, Mark, because he's a big lad, and I don't think he's going to get pushed around in there. It's
No,
just
I think he'll adapt to the kind of physical side of it pretty quick,
yeah,
Paul.
exactly. Yeah, definitely,
But
definitely.
he, he's like he looks like Viduka, didn't he?
You mind? That's what he reminds me of, Mark.
Aye.
Vinduka type player. Do you know what I mean? You know, I hope it works out for him, Mark. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
he
he's only
wanted to
here.
come here, Mark. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
He wanted to come
He's
to
only
Celtic, like he told his manager, like you know what I mean.
he's
You
only
know,
here a few weeks. Do you know what I mean? Give
exactly.
him plenty of time. Do you know what I mean? He's
See,
only a
that's what
young
I'm
lad.
saying, Mark. Do you know what I mean? People are too quick to write people off. You know,
Aye.
people are probably saying, "No, I don't. I'm writing them off. I just say he's not ready for this game." Do you know what I mean? Big difference. Do you know?
Aye. I mean, it's just said he's only here a few weeks and
Hmm.
you get back to he's a young man, change our culture, change the climate and everything kind of thing. Go to
Yeah,
young guys
that's
like
this is an interesting point there, Mark. Like, what if it goes to extra time, 110, 20 minutes? Will we need fresh legs? Like, do you know what I mean? What if it's nil, Mark, 65 minutes and Ange makes all these subs at that time? Because I personally don't think Ange be thinking we'll take this to extra time now and bring on
no.
the fresh legs.
If it
You
gets
know?
to 65 minutes, the 65 minute mark at nothing each, Andrew will make his substitutions and want to get it finished for the 90.
Because, Mark, like we've seen in previous games under Ange, it's the bench that makes the difference.
Aye.
I mean,
Basically, Paul, you can change half your team.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Mark. If we have no injuries and we have a strong bench, do you know what I mean? That could make an awful difference as well next week.
Aye.
You know, you know.
I've just said to you, Paul, imagine you've been ran ragged off for 65 minutes against Celtic and you look up and the next thing, oh my God, Kyogo's going on and O's coming on. Oh no, they're a
I
bad.
think, Mark, I'm looking at.
They're a bad coming on now. Do you know what
I'm
I mean?
looking at you, Mark. Like
No.
they're like, and I'm with you there on Haksaban. I think this is a game for Haksabanovic. I really do.
That's
Think
a
this
big
is a
shout.
game. I know it is, but I really do, Mark. I think Haksaban would bring a bit of bite into that Celtic team next week. You know, I really
I can't see that happening, but
I
that is a
can't
good
see it
shout.
happening. But I'd like to see like we're questioning about maybe Moy or O'Reilly.
Aye,
Why
well,
not
we're talking about
Haksabanovic there?
aye, for even, but there even what we're talking about, oh, like next season, we're going to say what a Watty in the CDM role, McGregor, and we said O'Reilly or Moy, but aye, you've got to put Haksabanovic into that mix as well, haven't you?
Hmm. Because he won't like my biggest problem is next week, Mark, is if Celtic let them throw in these dirty tackles and these dirty tackles, Mark, they give Rangers an edge. They gave them a momentum. Do you get me? You
Aye,
know that's
aye,
that's how they win these games, Mark. Because then they're throwing all these tackles in, and that's getting their fans going. It's getting them going. Do you know what I mean?
aye, Paul, they start on, see like what we're talking about with like our possession to foul ratio kind of thing
Hmm.
earlier. See next week you'll see it's all wee niggly fouls Rangers give away.
That's what I'm saying, yeah,
And
and
that
that's what's going
again,
to happen, Mark.
Uh,
Yeah.
aye, the wee niggly fills, but they gave them away. But we've got a free kick. But it's broke up the momentum. It's broke up the passage of play. But do you know what I mean? That's one of their tactics.
And the only reason, Mark, really, the only way around that from happening is Celtic doing a fast passing tempo.
That's it. Just
And
keep pinging the pass and high pressing them.
yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? We can't win this game, Mark, with a slow. Like, do you remember before? when Michael was on, Mark, what's the story with Celtic? They have one good half, they have one bad half.
Aye.
You know, now we need to have a full-blown, good, high-tempo 90 minutes, do you think?
Aye, just keep right in about them. Paul, we know, I mean, that Barisic is rank rotten. That Goldson, that Goldson's just...
See, I'm still thinking, Mark, like you, like there, boy, because, like, Abada always has a good game against him, man. Do you know what I mean? And always scores against them when he's up against Barisic. Like, do you know what I mean?
Or even let McGee down to run him ragged, and then, do you know what I mean? Then he's looking at him saying, "Oh fuck, man,
Abada's coming on.
Abada coming on now."
I'd love for me to score against him, Mark. I really would, boy.
I'd love anybody.
Anyone to score against them.
Greg Taylor, give me Greg Taylor a goal.
Oh, imagine it, boy. It'd be fucking brilliant. Like. Do you know what that would remind me of? Do you remember Lee Naylor getting the ball against them? The volley. Do you remember that? And he didn't score for years. Next he pops up in the derby and he bangs in a goal against them. It was kind of a half volley, wasn't it?
Aye.
You know?
Aye, but I'd love to see Taylor get a goal against them.
But Denmark, we're talking about a player that brings a bit of bite to the Celtic team, and there we have one in Taylor.
I was a bit disappointed nobody came up to help wee Kyogo yesterday when the Aberdeen boy was giving him a bit of roughing him up a bit.
True.
I can't mean to. Was it McKennie or something like
Mackenzie,
that?
yeah.
Aye. I was surprised no Celtic player get involved in that. I don't know.
Well, what was it about, Mark?
I don't even know.
He was getting up.
Aye, I've got absolutely no idea why you started on him.
Did he finally see what it's like to play against a proper team? Do you know what I mean? Because there was even the referee was looking, going, "What's this all about?" I mean, what did Kyogo do? Nothing. He's one of the most innocent, innocent's the wrong word, Mark. I say positive persons on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? He's not a dirty player.
Aye, he's fair. Even if he fouls somebody, it's, oh, sorry. Do you know what I mean? Right earlier also. Maybe that's just part of his kind of wee actor.
I don't think, Mark.
It's not malicious. Do you know what I mean? If he fouls somebody, it's because it's just an accidental
Haksabanovic went over, Mark. Haksabanovic went over.
Oh, did I never saw that.
See, that's what I'm saying, Mark. Like, you know what I mean? You know,
I never saw that on the telly.
Is that something that Haksabanovic would bring to the Celtic team?
That's what I said, Paul. Even in his very first game, I can't mind what it was.
It was a throw-in, wasn't it?
It was a throw-in, and the boy kind of squared up to him, and Haksabanovic was right back in his face for it.
Like, Ting is saying there, like, and I agree with you, like, you know what I mean? Where was Callum Mark? Like, he's captain. Do you know what I mean? Brownie would have been straight up there, Mark. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
You know? Taylor was probably on his way up, and Ange probably told him to stay back.
Taylor doesn't mind a wee bit of that, didn't he? No,
no, he does, man.
Nonsense, he's right in as well.
I think, maybe if I think Taylor's coming to know Scott Brown, and he'll wind up Morales next week. You know, if you wind up Morales, he can't concentrate in his game.
That'll be Morales' head. If he starts next week,
Brown said, did you see that in an interview there? Actually, he was on about Diouf. He was on about Ting, and he said he knew in the tunnel, if he got in there ahead in the tunnel, he'll come into the game and they'll lose track of their own game. So that's going to happen. If we get in his head, Mark, he's going to be... You know?
If you're a complete nutcase, Paul, somebody that's a wee bit cute, a wee bit of banter is going to rip you to shreds. Do you know what I mean? Because what Scott Brown's saying is, the guys are... They're that kind of uptight, and Scott Brown was that kind of wee cheeky, wee fly stuff in that just to get more into their heat.
I never forget that celebration though against Diouf. Remember that?
Aye. And that'll haunt Diouf. Do you know what I mean? Because it's even going back to when Joey Barton came up and he was mouthing off in that, and Scott Brown he couldn't even look him in the eye at the first game. Do you know what I mean? It's just these guys come up there, and if you're that certain kind of absolute nutcase that like Joey Barton, I mean, because I put Joey Barton in the same kind of level as Diouf and people like that. I really do. The guys are absolute scumbag, him and his family. Do you know what I mean? So you get into their heat, and they're going to do something stupid, See, as long as you can just keep it laughing and being a wee smug, cheeky wee a wee white. It's like us slagging you with your
But
man
you know
bun.
what, though, Mark?
Do you know what I mean? We used to slag you about your man bun. You used to take it to heart in that.
Yeah, but don't mock the bun, like, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ, man. You know what I mean? It took me fucking years to grow it, like, you know, there you are taking the piss out of it.
No, but if you see if somebody's got like a weakness, yeah, and you can just prod them at it, you can really get to them about stuff, you know, and that's what Scott Brown was good at, that kind of psychological thing.
Just a thing, Mark, like it's not to do with Celtic, it's on their side, like, you know what I mean? What is the talk? Like, I did I hear there's about 12 players out of contract at the end of the season, like McGregor, you have, is it Longstrong, I think, is out.
Morelos,
Kent.
Ryan
What's the
Cunt.
story with Kent and Morelos? Like, I think they'd be the main two out of this group of players. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know about anybody that's interested in Morelos, Paul. Ryan Kent could probably get a move back down to England if he wanted, but no
the championship, I think, yeah.
Aye, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kent maybe stayed.
Because of Beale kind of making him feel important.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was back to, I mean, it was all doing, when he signed for them, it was all because he was getting out with that lassie, and now they fell out, blah, blah, blah. So that's why he's been wanting back down to England, because he's not with that lassie anymore.
Beale is probably knocking at the lassie's door, asking her to make up with Kent so he can stay with Rangers. Huh?
No.
I heard about that, yeah. You know?
I'm not going to get into that.
Jesus Christ, yeah, that's, we won't be on air next week. That's what we want. You know?
I wouldn't be surprised if Kent did stay, just because he's maybe not going to get an offer. Anyway, I mean, let's not be kidding. It'll be good money at Rangers, and he's never going to. No matter where he goes, he's never going to get the kind of credit he kind of thinks he's due.
What is their rage bracket higher than ours, Mark, or low? Like, I'm on like all kind of rage stop is around the 35 mark. Are they above that or below, or what? Or do you think there's players on more or what?
I think there's probably players out there that are a bit higher than that, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just like some of them will be crazy money. I mean, how many contracts is Morelos signed for?
That's what I'm saying, like, how they're doing it, like, you know what I mean? At the end of the season, Mark, it's going to be April, you said, Mark, ain't there? When they have to have everything sent over to the
UEFA, aye.
UEFA.
And they did another share issue last week.
Yeah, 1 million they had to get in for the end of the season, Mark, to keep the club going, like. And I think that's what UEFA are looking at, Mark, is this share issue. Do you know what I mean? I don't think UEFA
are in favour of this, no, that's one of the reasons why Rangers are on that watch list, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get us wrong. There's some of the teams on that watch list, and do you know what I mean?
But they're on it. Like, there's a difference there, Mark. Like, they're on it because they're overspending. Rangers are on it because they're broke. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's the same thing, really, Paul.
Yeah.
But all these teams are on it because they're spending money that they can't. They're not earning,
mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. You can't just keep throwing like share issues out to cover losses and stuff.
I tell you why, Man City could be in trouble with this, Mark. I think why, you know, and I think Chelsea will fall into it now as well because of their spending sprees. Like, I can't understand like how they're going. I can understand they're doing it because they have the money, but then they're not selling any players, Denmark, for money coming in. Do you know?
But see, we get back to, I can't even too much it said about Mark Lowe get pulled in the Man City thing.
Brian, yeah. So Brian,
but even down to that, see what Man City can investigate it with the English Premier League. UEFA's already investigated them with it and can't do anything with them because it's time barred.
Yes, exactly.
So even if Mark Lowe was making millions out of it and Celtic were doing anything dodgy, it's time barred and they can't do anything about it because the English Premier League get no power over us. We go to a UEFA thing, and Man City's already took it to that court of arbitration stuff and won their case.
They did, yeah, I remember that.
And that's their argument. This is the same stuff. It's just that it's the English. See the thing about it, Paul. It's actually the English clubs that are pushing for this.
Mm-hmm.
The rest, Man United, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal. It's all them that are wanting this looked at.
Yeah, but I was talking to a Manchester United fan there, and he was saying like, did United get warned before when David Gill was in there about there, and that's when they started getting all their house in order. Then that they did get warned by UEFA about all their spending.
Aye, there's plenty. There's teams or Europe, Paul, has been warned for years off UEFA,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and under the
And
the
were
old
we ever warned, Mark?
no,
Because we always
no.
kind of
The only thing the
Celtic
only thing we
always
get,
kept money in the bank, Mark. That's what I'm trying to
aye,
say, didn't we? Do you know what I mean?
aye. I mean, back see when Celtic were
Excuse me.
like having financial difficulties and stuff, Paul. UEFA had nothing to do with the broader spectrum of the game. It was the SFA and the SPL or whatever that looked after the Scottish game. It wasn't as if UEFA had any Celtic didn't need to hand in accounts. See, back in the good old days kind of thing, Celtic
Mm-hmm.
didn't need to hand in accounts to UEFA to make sure they were where their money was coming from and stuff like that. So it's only a kind of recent thing that's come into the game.
I think, look, thinking back then, Mark, I think Celtic are where we are now. Only for Fergus McCann building that stadium with the
Oh,
revenue
aye.
coming in. Do you know what I mean?
That keeps, but the revenue for the stadium alone, Paul,
That's a lot.
keeps us.
That's what I'm saying, Mark. Yeah.
Aye, every year we start off with financial advantage to anybody in Scotland because of the size of our stadium.
Didn't you
I mean,
say that then as well,
we
Mark?
were only set the weekend there against Aberdeen. Was that was it? Only second club in Britain to take through 1 million fans through the
Yeah,
gates this season.
yeah.
Just the only other clubs, Man United.
Did you say then as well? I think it was last week. You said it, Mark, that even during COVID, Celtic fans still bought all their season tickets, knowing
Aye,
that
aye,
they wouldn't get to Celtic Park. Do you know what I mean? That just shows the loyalty of Celtic fans. I mean,
aye.
they want their club, and that's why I think, Mark, that
Well,
these
the Ibrox took a loan off the Scottish government and they need to pay
exactly,
back your 20
and,
year or something like
and
that.
then took our loan as well, Mark, because we didn't take ours. Do you know what I mean?
I know,
Do you
aye.
remember that? Yeah. You know. Oh, look, I just next week, Mark, for me is the league is done. This is such an important game for Celtic. Just
This
to
game
put
to
them,
kind of
yeah, it puts
defines our
them back in
season.
the. And Mark, if we
Aye.
win, you
It defines
know
our
for a
season.
fact the fans will turn and be. You know that for a fact, and that's why he needs to be put back in his box.
Aye.
You know,
Definitely. When Celtic win this next week, that'll be the kind of the start of
the downfall, Mark. Yeah, the banter years be
aye.
coming back. You know.
Because again, Paul, we're talking about money and that stuff again. They've got these players that are out of contracts. They're either going to be looking for bumper wages, bumper signing on fees, or whatever. But they're still, I mean, they're still needing millions spent on that team, and it's millions that they're not going to have.
I just want to ask the live chat there before we go there. Next Sunday's podcast, would you be forward at 6:30, or do you want the podcast after the show, Mark? Do you think after the game, or what do you
What's
think?
What's the kickoff?
3 o'clock kickoff.
4:45. 4:45. Finish.
Even if you
Well,
went at 5:30 or
well,
something.
even 6 o'clock, Paul.
Yeah.
If you want, give people an hour to get their dinner and
Get home
whatever.
after at the match
Aye.
and stuff like that.
We'll
How
go
far
for-
is Hampden actually, Mark? I know Hampden's in Glasgow, isn't it?
Aye. It's not really. It's a bit of a bummer to get to, Paul, if you're not driving. But if you're driving, it's only maybe 10-15 minutes onto your journey for Celtic Park. It's nothing major. It's not a big.
As we're talking about Hampden.
Unless you're with Stephanie, parks about 4 mile away from the gun.
Or Jabba parking in someone's fucking drive. Jesus Christ, Jabba, man. You're parking in someone's drive, man. Jesus Christ. Just as we're talking about Hampden there, before we go, Mark, the state of the pitch could play a part in Celtic as well next week.
been pouring the rain the last couple of days, but Hampden's not been played on for the semi-final, so surely that'll be in a half decent condition.
Could hopefully, Mark. Yeah, hopefully. Like, I mean, to make the work they did on Celtic Park, Mark, the last couple of weeks, I think it was it Bobby Sunderland was saying when he did a tour there last week that they were walking on the pitch. I thought the pitch looked well yesterday, Mark, and it actually held up well.
It was pouring the rain again, Paul. Do you know what I mean? That's no help.
It was thundering down actually yesterday, Mark, wasn't it, over there?
Aye, when there 20-odd folk running about on it, but it held. It looks all right at the start of the games, Paul, but it just seems to be
down the end. Then, yeah,
it starts breaking up dead quickly.
And are you the same as us? Are you kind of the same kind of weather lot as us, like with this snow warning coming maybe in March and stuff like that?
I don't know. We meant to get snow. Aye.
Yeah, in March. Yeah, could be hitting in March.
First I've heard it.
Jeez, Mark, you watch the news at all, baby? Yeah, it's all over Twitter, Mark. Even the Met Office. I'd be looking at your Met Office and everything. It's all over Twitter, like, you know.
Feeling at Met Office for that's London. How did they know what it was like in Ireland?
Because we're on the same kind of what would you say, Atlantic Ocean radar as ye. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, bad weather, 9 times out of 10 we'll get it. Do you get me?
Aye.
You know, unless there's a different float with, like, but 9. That's why we're on the weather a lot with yourselves, like, so we kind of keeps an eye on yours as well. Mark Ireland fucking can't do nothing without. Do you know what I mean?
I just look out the window. That's how I feel.
I'm like that, boy. I'm like that. Like when I go to work in the morning, I look out the window, right, grand. I throw my jacket in the bush if I need it. Do you know what I mean? That's basically what I do. Like, you know. I'm looking forward to the game, Mark. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm always nervous between the derby. I'm always nervous. I'm always fucking wound up. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just one of those games, Mark, that you don't want. I can take Celtic losing, but I can't take them losing today.
No,
you know,
no loss to them.
You know,
wait till you see the forum, sees the week goes on, Paul. Look at what we got to do. I'm worried about this game. I'm worried about this. Mikey will be a nervous wreck about this game on Saturday.
Oh yeah, Mikey doesn't sleep, and Steph boy doesn't sleep either.
Mikey will tell you, just gets that worked up about it. Just starts can't sleep, panicking.
I because he's been on the show with us, Mark, and we have to get him on because I want to talk to him about Dundee United and things, but I think they could go down, Mark. Really, I think that club is in trouble, boy. Dundee United.
We'll try and get Jonas on next Sunday. No, next Sunday. We'll even get Jonas. No, but even maybe Jonas, she's kind of neutral view of what happens in the cup final of that. Aye.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But they don't. Just looking at, I just got up the table there now, Mark. He actually seems very, very pissed off at the club at the moment. Jonas, the way that this fella, their manager, the fella Fox, needs to go. Do you know what I mean? You know, like, do you remember when we first doing I don't sleep for different reasons, Paul Stefani said. See that?
Aye.
In the live chat, I don't sleep for they're bottom of the table, Mark, now at the moment. I mean, I know they're only a point behind Ross County. They're 3 points behind Kilmarnock. I know 3 points, Mark, but 3 points is it's a big gap when you're at the bottom of the table and you're not winning. That's the problem. Teams around them are winning, but Dundee United aren't winning, and that seems to be. And I think now the fans have lost confidence in their manager Fox. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's there. I feel. Because I always kind of had a soft spot now for Dundee United. I look at their results because we had Jonas on, Mark.
I'm about the same, Paul. Because Jonas and that.
I think they could be in trouble this season, Mark. I really do.
A bit of a rut into it. And saying that, Paul, they've got a game in hand.
They do. But I'd be forced to have the points because of their form rather than the game. Like, I always think it's harder, Mark. I think you agree with me. it's harder to get out of a rot than it is to keep running. If your team is low in confidence and you need that win, there's just a nervousness comes into the whole club, and it makes it harder then to get that result. Think, or am I just over exaggerating?
No, I know what you mean. You did. To get into a habit, Paul. Winning's a habit, but losing can be a habit as well. But if you're looking at that table, but they're getting hands against Livingston.
And that's not an easy place to be fucking playing either, Mark, is it?
I don't know if it's home. I don't know if it's home or away.
Yeah, but it's not a team you want to have a game in hand against either for down the bottom of the table, is it? You know, Dundee United need a lead. I think. Do you know what? I think that'll be a great appointment. Neil and Dundee United. You know.
No, I don't know about you. I don't know how you.
Did you see?
The coach Dundee end up with a smack.
You're gonna get a smack. You get a smack off Jonas. Jonas being dragged out of Tannadice, fucking smacking Neil Lennon. Jesus Christ, man! Is it that fucking bad up there? Is it? You know,
that's a belter, Steph.
Did you see Wigan Strachan linked to Aberdeen to the end of the season?
But he's still at Dundee.
No, he's not. No, I actually looked it up, Mark. He's not. He kind of packed that up after he finished whatever business he was doing with Celtic, and he went kind of into the commentary then. You know.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I kind of. That's what I kind of heard, that he wasn't still with Dundee United. There's nothing coming up about Dundee United on him.
It's no Dundee United.
Dundee, yeah. You know, I was going to type in Wigan Strachan there. I'm so used to it. I remember I had to ask you that. What was WGS?
WGS.
Yeah, Wigan Strachan. I just like
current
team Dundee, technical director, Mark. Yeah, you know. But what is it? I never, anytime Celtic are playing, he's commentating for the Celtic matches, man. He's never fucking Dundee. He's probably getting more.
That's what they need to buy tickets, and he's getting tickets for free and giving them to folks. So
he's probably getting more from the commentary for Celtic TV or BT than he is for Dundee. So I say.
Him and wee Tam Boyd are fighting all the sausage rolls in the way home.
You know, he's a character, Mark. Tam Boyd, isn't he?
Love him, man. Love Tom Boyd.
Mm-hmm. Do you know who actually has a football game, Mark? Is Simon Donnelly. The way he speaks about football. There's actually, I know you don't watch other podcasts, but a Celtic State of Mind had Paul Lambert and Simon Donnelly on there, Mark, last Thursday.
Singing Oasis songs.
They were talking about Vin Jensen in the dressing room. Why would they sing the Oasis songs for?
Was that over that? They're doing that act song,
Yeah, they're doing that charity event.
Mod stuff in that.
You know, but they're supposed to be. Is it the 25th anniversary? I think is it of since we stopped
Aye.
And all the players are actually holding an event in Glasgow. All the players are getting together and talking about it and everything. You know, that was a great team. Like if you think of it back then, Mark,
Would you go to that?
Sure, the tickets are gone. I say they're sold out of there.
Where'd you go?
I would go. I would love to go to that, Mark. But yeah, that'd be brilliant to see. What's that about? This smell the glove. What's that about?
Okay. The story was that Andy Gorham had flung a glove in the changing room, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And said something about smell the glove that won Rangers 10 in a row or 9 in a row or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's that many stories about it at the time. Aye.
Well, he probably chewed in for a different reason, trying to get a bit of money, hoping that they'd put money into the glove and he'd take it back. You know? But they were telling a story about...
it's a Spinal Tap as well. Smell the glove.
What's that?
You never seen Spinal Tap?
No.
It's a film. It's like a mockumentary about a daft 70s band kind of thing, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny here. It's funny watch it. It's on. You'll find it on your Fire Stick or even Netflix or something like that. But it's sort of Spinal Tap as well. So I'm not too sure what the actual meaning of it was.
Brian is saying it was graffiti. They saw in Kilmarnock and they started it just saying as a wind up. But they were telling a story about Jonathan Gould when they tried to sign him, you know, and he was playing with Halifax, and he was waiting on the phone call, and there was a game being played there. He was playing a goal with Halifax, and he kept the phone, his mobile phone, in his pocket, in his sock mat behind his shin guard, so he could hear the phone vibrating in case it was Celtic that was ringing him to join the club. Jonathan Gould, they were saying about Jonathan Gould. You know, he was kind of really an underestimated keeper, Mark. Wasn't he, Jonathan Gould? He was all right.
Tosh McKinley. It was Tosh McKinley rebel there that came up with the Kilmarnock story.
Was it Tosh McKinley, was it?
No, it was him. They said this. Something to do with the Scotland squad. We pulled into Kilmarnock. It was a brick wall on the right hand side, and there was a little spray paint a hand on the wall, and under it the slogan "Smell the glove." And Tosh McKinley kept on shouting it, and then we back to Celtic and got our own gloves. So we thought, if we're in the league, we can get T-shirts made "Smell the glove."
Jesus,
that's what Tosh McKinley said about it. It's sort of Spinal Tap. That's where That's where the actual saying comes from. So whoever spray painted on the one Kilmarnock was probably a Spinal Tap fan.
I think there. Things is coming up, Mark. We might actually do a podcast on Vin Jensen.
Full of knowledge, you know.
Do you hear me? You know,
but Paul,
I said, seeing as it's coming up to the 25th anniversary, we might actually do a podcast and talk about that year.
Oh,
aye. Celtic stopped it, because I had great memories of that. Like, because there was no.
It was like Ange, but even at that, Paul, like Wim Jansen was
exactly.
When he came to Scotland, he was made out a kind of joke figure, same as Ange was. The press,
because he actually came from Japan as well, didn't he? Vin Jensen was actually manager over there at that time as well, I think.
Something like a technical director or something. Paul,
yeah. And
I've said it before. I think, Paul, and I know it's not politically correct, but even the press, it was like they kind of made him look like a kind of gollywog figure. Because he's hearing that, it was that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? They made a full his appearance and everything kind of idea, and it was.
But even Simon Donnelly, Mark, was kind of saying that, and Paul Lander was saying that. Like they were saying, from what they're hearing in the dressing room with Ange, it's very similar to Vin Jensen, that he was a manager you could approach, but then again you had to do it his way and the way he wanted you to play. You know.
Well, that's what it should be.
Yeah, and what else were they saying? Paul Lambert was actually signed in November because there was no transfer windows.
Aye.
Back then, Mark. Would you agree? Actually, would you actually agree with that? No. Or do you prefer the way it is now, summer and January, or would you be in favour of having just one transfer window or none?
Oh no, I think there needs to be transfer windows now, Paul. For actual money involved. I think if you could just sell players when, like it used to be in the old days kind of thing, I think it'd be a lot more kind of criminality could keep its way into stuff. Do you know what I mean?
And there'd be advantage as well, Mark, then to the bigger teams then as well, won't there?
Aye. I do think as well, but Paul, that there should be like a transfer window for managers. I agree with you there, Mark. See if you can only buy and sell players in the summer and January. I think that should be the same with managers.
Mark, yeah, exactly. That you can't leave a club in the middle of once. Do you know what I mean? In the middle of a season, pack up and go.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? If your manager leaves your club, that's your business. Do you know what I mean? You know.
Aye. And then it would stop all this kind of. It would stop all this kind. As we keep going on, Paul, about why would Ange go to some team down in England where they could get sacked in 6 weeks' time if they didn't get results right away. I would do away with that, Paul. Plus,
do you think now that
would give managers a bit more security and a wee bit more time to implement their plans? See your point, a manager in the summer, right? And supposing you lose your first 6 games, you're like, I wish I could sack him. But if you sack him now, that's who you're starting against. So if you maybe can stick, if you're forced to stick with him, it's going to maybe turn Rumour the next 8 to 10 weeks before the next transfer window opens.
Sure, look at the fella there. Southampton, Mark, 14 games in charge, gone to the League Cup semi-final, and then he's sacked. You mean like what you said there last week there, Lee Johns, he's never going to get a top flight job again. Do you mean never. You know, and it's actually the first team I actually saw Ange's name not linked to Southampton. You know, but but
that shows you how.
Because they're getting the hint.
Probably. I mean, it's like, well, I mean, look at even Gerrard. Gerrard left Scotland a hero to half the country because he won the league.
Did I tell you about Poland?
Poland just said he was.
Yeah, his agents were talking to him, and he gave him all his CVs and things, and basically they talked through to his agent, said no, he's not experienced enough for us. That's basically what they thought. No, not experienced for us. Do you mean like there's a reason, Mark? He's not getting linked for jobs because Manchester clubs don't raise him.
Exactly. I think he'll struggle to get another manager's job at any decent level, Paul.
Why isn't Beale getting linked? Like Beale has won all his games, Mark, since he came to Rangers. Why did he get linked to these jobs?
And no, but see, even Gerrard's just going to end up a pundit.
I think so.
Because he's not going to get any of these big jobs.
He reminds me of Thierry Henry, Mark, don't he? He tried it with Monaco and he never made it, and then he went into fucking Sky Sports. Then again, is he still with Belgium? No, he's gone from Belgium now, because he left at Martinez, didn't he? You know?
I probably did,
You know, he took over. It was actually Martinez.
He took off. He
got the job.
Martinez, didn't it?
Where did Martinez go? Portugal. Portugal manager Sanchez went to Poland.
Is that who got the Poland job?
Yeah. So Ting was coming up against him, Mark Gerrard, coming up against Sanchez. Do you know what I mean? You know, Gerrard has just dug up his own hole like that fucking mole that's in his dugout now. Oh man, I hate that cunt. You know, I really do, Mark. Why? I really hope. I don't know how many times I said it. We pump them next week, but I put that cunt back in the box. You know, because
happy's Larry this time next Sunday, Pablo.
I don't like people by that blow their own trumpet, Mark, and they don't have the facts to do it. You know what I mean? You know,
it's just playing to the gallery.
I know, and that's what they love, Mark.
That's what they love.
And it's true what you said. Like that's why there was never a connection with Jamie Van Bronckhorst and them. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Jamie. I called him Jamie Van Bronckhorst.
Jamie Van Bronckhorst.
That's the Irish. That's the Irish name. He's after coming Irish all of a sudden. Jamie Van Bronckhorst. Well, by the things like that comes into my head, by telling you, it's scary, by that's what it is, like. You know what I mean?
It's that wee man, but it's attracting all sorts of nonsense.
It's blocking that.
Teletubby aerial. It's that wee Teletubby aerial.
It's getting so long now. It's probably starting to grow inside, and it's probably affecting the brain. That's what it is. You know, Jesus Christ, man! I have to get a haircut. All right, man. That's what I do have to get it. You know, I was thinking of cutting it. All right, you know. That's what I want.
Just shave it.
No. I look like a right tug boy. I had a skinhead when I was 20, 21, 22, I think. I used to have a skinhead. Jesus Christ, man. If I walked into a shop now with a skinhead, they probably think I'm robbing it rather than coming to make a fucking sale. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ, man. You know, and I used to have hair down to my fucking shoulders and everything. My Jesus Christ! I showed you that picture, did I?
You've been your curtains.
Jesus Christ, man!
Was that where I get a man bun fee?
No, that was like that. I think I was 25 in that picture. I saw.
I mean, you sent me one when you had the kind of Sean Ryder curtains in that.
I never had fucking Sean Ryder curtains, man. Excuse me. Jesus Christ, man. Fucking
Well,
hell.
that wasn't the photo you sent me.
Dax Wax, I baited Jesus. You know, Jesus Christ, man. You always know a person, right, who you know, who can't style their hair.
I've had the same haircut when I was about 14. I shaved,
And
just
what do you
shave it.
get then? Just shave it off?
I just shave it on number one.
And does Jack do that for you then, or do you go to the hairdressers?
No, Jack does it. Sack
Jesus.
that, going to hairdressers.
See, you know when COVID was in? Do you know
My
when
wee
COVID
nephew,
was in?
wee Melvin came in the other week. He'd been to the barbers for a haircut, which was basically he'd just shaved and a beard trimming, a thing that. What did they say, Jack? £48? £48 to go to the barbers.
I won't tell you the price of mine, so.
But you'll be getting that. You'll be getting coconut stuff and fucking.
Yeah. I'd be going on. Do you remember those things, Mark, in the 80s when they
L'Oreal,
big hair dry thing
a diffuser and curling tongs and
I'd be
rollers
getting the
and
works.
shit,
I'd be getting the works. Imagine it, Jesus Christ, man. Fucking hell, I'd be wearing a balaclava by when we be going fucking live by, so you won't be taking the piss out of the fucking. We let it there, so lads. Thanks for joining us there tonight.
Just talking about here, my Manscaped going still works, 20% off Manscaping.
Jesus, it does too, Mark, don't this?
It does still work, aye.
Jeez, dirty bastards, by they didn't give us the fucking contract, and there they are, using the stain. Steph has probably gone through about fucking 10 of them so far, I say, right? You know?
Did you see that picture of Steph on Discord?
Oh, man. I thought it was Spice. Laughed so much.
I thought it was at Spice. It just did some nick, wasn't it?
Oh man, Mark, boy, it was brilliant, boy. He really was. 2 Ewoks himself and fucking Welsh boy. You know, Jesus Christ, you could. Steph, I'm sure he's going for the Brian McClare look, is he? Steph?
I don't know, man.
That beard is just getting bigger and bigger, boy.
Uncle Albert.
You know, John from Night Northern too used to have a big, huge beard, didn't he? Where did he go? I have to give him a text, actually, right? See how he is.
Aye. He texted me the other week.
Then again, I won't, because he'll probably ring me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Then again, I won't next day.
Ask you if you're coming here. Are you coming here?
Coming over at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then he said, that's the Irish fella who'll be in the podcast. I was going, all right, like, yeah, well, listen to the podcast now. They didn't believe me that I know you. And I'm going, what? Yeah, my friends didn't know that I knew the Irish fella on the podcast. I'm going, all right, and then they're like, man, you can come over, man, and stay. And some fella came on the phone. Hey, man, you can come over and stay in my house. And I'm going, nah, man, you're grand, man. I'm not fucking going over there at all, man. Jesus Christ, man. Take that needle out your hand there, man, before you invite someone into the house or something, you know? Jesus Christ, man, you're talking 3 o'clock in the morning, like 3 o'clock. Are you awake? Are you awake? He says to me. Are you awake?
They're in Glasgow and you're in Cork. They're saying, just come here. Just as if you're
just come over, yeah.
Got my taxi.
We'll collect you. We'll collect you. Do you know what I mean? Asking me 3 o'clock in the morning, are you awake? Are you awake, Paul? No, I fucking am now. At 3 o'clock in the morning. Fonica was asleep next to me and everything. Like, Jesus Christ, man. You know?
Paul, we need to stop this because that's just starting to sound like me. You're just talking.
Go on, I talk to you later, boy. Thanks, lads.
Right, thanks very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that part for that last 15 minutes here, which was just like a personal phone call between me and Paul. Everybody tunes in. Thanks very much for your support. Please, if you can, leave a comment, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Good night. God bless and hail.
Jesus Christ, man.
I forgot we were actually talking. I forgot we were